Watch 6 on Your Sideline live Monday at 8.
Welcome, everybody, to Madtown, USA, better known as Madison, Wisconsin, where today their beloved Badgers go against the unbeaten and untied Ohio State Buckeyes. The man who put the show on the road here in Madison, Barry Alvarez, determined to get back to Pasadena and the Rose Bowl. But this man has never been there with the Buckeyes, John Cooper, and he surrounded himself with a host of stars, young men who will attempt to lead the Bucks to Pasadena. ABC Sports welcomes you to Big Ten College football. Ohio State and Wisconsin. The standings show a very unlikely first-place team right now, but the importance of this game, both the Buckeyes and the Badgers are unbeaten, standing beneath Northwestern at 1-0. This game is loaded with some of the brightest young stars in college football in the Big Ten. Will it be, everybody? Welcome. Along with Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you here with us. You know, in watching Terry Glenn in that clip, I was suddenly struck by the fact that over the last couple of weeks, I've had the pleasure of being around an athlete who simply elevated his game, and that would be Ken Griffey Jr. against the Yankees, Dick. And, you know, I think Terry Glenn, more than any player that I can remember in recent memory, has suddenly really elevated his game. He's one of the great star wide receivers.
Well, last year, he was a backup player, made a marginal contribution, and he's gone way beyond the coach's expectations. And today, they're talking to us about him being a Heisman Trophy candidate.
It's amazing. You know, they now talk about him somewhat quietly in the terms of being perhaps a Jerry Rice-like figure. That's how good they think he is. This is unbelievable now. Now, we're going to turn our attention to Wisconsin, because I was sort of disappointed in them the last time we were here. Their opener, they got blown out by Colorado. But this man right next to me, I'll never forget it on the air, you said, this team is going to be a better football team when we see him again.
Well, I said that because they were a young, inexperienced, talented football team being coached by an outstanding coaching staff. Now, when you take talent and youth and good coaching and give them a little time, they get better, and they have gone faster and better and gotten quicker and better than I thought they would, really. And I think the coaches are even surprised. When they went up to Penn State and shut them down both offensively and defensively, it was an outstanding job, but it was no fluke. It was done with solid performance by everybody, and now they play with the poise of an experienced football team, and they are still talented.
Dick, we have one of those factors this time of year, and that's the wind that has been coming into this stadium, and certainly you can see how briskly it is blowing here. That'll affect a large part of this football game.
I would be concerned about my punt returners getting underneath the punts properly. I mean, it moves the ball around.
All right, let's go down below now to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Brent, you look at the Ohio State Buckeyes and you say, boy, they've walked through a minefield to get here. Such tough opponents, nationally ranked opponents. But ask the coaches and ask the team, and they say, no, it's not been bad yet. It's going to get bad from this game on because we're marching through the Big Ten. Conversely, you take a look at the Wisconsin Badgers, and Coach Barry Alvarez has had 2 weeks to prepare for the Buckeyes. But he said last week was a very disjointed week of preparation because the school has been going through midterm examinations. He says that's caused them to have to change some practices, some film work. He said, I missed 2 days where I had the whole team together. So what remains to be seen, Brent and Dick, is whether having 2 weeks off a bye week is a plus or a minus.
Barry Alvarez and the Wisconsin Badgers. John Cooper. What a contrast. You can see that both men just a little uneasy. Cooper has been behind in each of the last 2 games, and he would prefer not to slip here. Wisconsin won, and they will defer. Now that gives them a very important choice of what to do regarding this win when the second half starts. Hall, who handles the kicking duties, kicks it off, and Demetrius Stanley coming out from the 5-yard line, and Demetrius with a good return for the Bucks is out now to the 25-yard line. So here comes a young man, and for all the world, this team is starting to remind me of last year's Penn State team. Here, Dick, is the much improved quarterback Bobby Hoyne.
Well, he's improved his pass percentage completion 10%, and he's throwing the ball downfield much better than he did a year ago. A lot of touchdowns, Brent.
Full of weapons. We have touched on Terry Glenn, the junior wide receiver, and of course Eddie George, number 27 against Penn State. George carried 24 times for 105 yards, and he has lined up as the running back for the Bucks. That is their tight end, Ricky Dudley, number 8, who steps in motion. George gets the game's first call as expected, and he finds himself a hole out to the 31. And now it is time for the Chili's backs and receivers for these Ohio State Buckeyes. We just took a look, Dick, at George.
Well, you see right there on that run, he makes people miss better this year than he did a year ago.
Certainly with no candidate running away with the Heisman, George becomes a huge factor. So it is 2nd down and 4 yards to go for the Bucks. 4 down linemen for the Badgers. 4 deep across, expecting the pass. Hoyne gives it to him, and this is their tight end, Dudley. Busts loose. Dudley, a big fumble, and the Badgers say they've got it. Wisconsin recovers. The one thing the Wisconsin coaches told us they were going to do. They were going to hit Dudley here today. They don't think that Penn State put enough force on him after he caught the ball.
Bobby Hoyne had a lot of time to set up in the pocket and throw this football. He throws a little short one underneath the coverage. He tucks it away initially here. Now it's swinging out away from his body. Remember, this guy was a basketball player. You can do that in basketball, but not football. Weems is the man that recovered that fumble.
Darrell Bevel quarterbacking the Badgers, and on 1st down finds receiver London, his favorite target, at the 34-yard line. So here is the young man, 25 years old, extremely mature, Dick.
And he's never been given the credit for how good he really is. The last 2 ball games, Brent, he has thrown 42 passes, completed 36 of them, and 5 of them touchdowns, and no interceptions.
Up behind a big, talented offensive line. In the eye, Carl McCullough is behind. Cecil Martin, number 37, who is offset now. That's Nyquist, 31. There was movement in the line. Yellow flags are down. McCullough with the carry. So here are the Chili's backs and receivers for Wisconsin. We got to look at a man who's stepping up and becoming a big-timer, McCullough, Dick.
Well, he's a redshirt freshman, and he ran like that the first time we saw him play. Right now, he's running with a better understanding of all the blocking schemes in front of him.
The veteran Tom Quinn with the call here.
Repeat 1st down.
So a 5-yard offside penalty. Interesting, I was down talking to this group of officials a short time ago, and I asked them how many times that new rule had come into effect where that defense jumps into that neutral zone, pulls somebody over from the offense, and there is an instance. Once the defensive lineman enters the neutral zone, ladies and gentlemen, they say he's responsible for it. If you want to watch that to find out how that rule is being called, that's how it is. Bevel deflected, incomplete, and a chance might have been intercepted over there.
Very good job. I think it was Luke Fickle that got that one.
Now here's our Chili's offensive line with Jerry Wunsch, one of the veterans for the Badgers.
He is a veteran, but he's going to have his hands full today and pass protecting Mike Vrabel and Matt Finkus, 2 real fine defensive ends from Ohio State.
This is a game that normally is determined in the 4th quarter. I don't have to remind Badger and Buckeye fans of this. This has been some war ever since the 80s when Wisconsin became competitive in this series. McCullough is tripped up at the 27, 26-yard line, and now the Ohio State defense looks like this. Luke Fickell making that stop, but we will see their middle linebacker Belisari frequently, Dick.
Well, he's a good player in there, and he's a real bright guy. He can call all the defensive signals. He can make the adjustments necessary for all 11 people to be lined up properly.
Just like that great Penn State team of a year ago, if there's any question at all about Ohio State, it's about their defense. 3rd down and 3. Martin in motion. The ball now is handed to the backup running back, and that is Aaron Stecker, the freshman, who has stepped in. Now let's talk about Sean Springs, number 24 here, Dick, and obviously you called this one.
He sprained his ankle last week against Penn State. He didn't practice all week. The coaches thought he would be able to go today. One of the fine corners in college football.
When you think about Terry Glenn, the best defensive back he looks at during the season is probably Springs in practice.
You bet. Good practice.
Now a 45-yard field goal attempt.
He kicked the ball awfully well on the practice field Thursday, Brent.
Hall, tricky win, got it. Officially a 44-yarder. An interesting decision by John Cooper. Wisconsin winning the coin flip and deferring. The Buckeyes going on defense. Badgers take the ball. That's how important the wind is in this football game. Both coaches are eyeing that wind, especially in the 4th quarter. And it can swirl down on the field. I'm sure Jack Arute will have the best view and certainly the worst feel for it down there. I mean, it is brisk. When you're down there watching the kickers, a ball will start off in one direction, change, and then come over. Down we go to Jack Arute. Jack?
Well, Brent, you're talking about the wind. You want to talk about rather being lucky than good. In the case of that field goal attempt, just prior to it, the wind had died down. As soon as he went to address the ball, the field goal kicker got the advantage. The wind came gusting up to his back and carried the ball. One of the things that happens down here, Brent, is the wind at the top of the stadium may be going in one direction, but by the time it swirls around, it actually is coming the opposite direction here. We've been watching it since the beginning of practice, and that's actually what's happened. But it was a break for Wisconsin that time. It was at their backs.
Feels like football. Feels like the Midwest. Outside. Folks were out in shorts working out yesterday, as a matter of fact. It was extremely pleasant here in Madison, but now this is football weather. 75,000 Camp Randall. Overcast skies. Badgers up a field goal, and now it's the Buckeyes again. So the turnover gave them the field goal, wasn't it? Coming out.
Great play.
You know, I was talking about what set that up. That was that fumble by the tight end on that first series. Dudley is what set up their field goal when he gave it up over there. Now the Buckeyes offensive line, and there he is, Orlando Pace, number 75.
You know, Brent, he is so good that defensive coaches move their best pass rusher away from him so they just don't waste him in the ball game. And we'll see him a little bit on defense today in the goal line.
Two tight ends using an H-back effect with Dudley. They power to that side behind Pace for George.
Good job.
And there was nothing doing. They simply outnumbered him at the point of attack. And Jurowitz, number 85, made the stop. Jurowitz, a story this week. The coaching staff has moved him, Dick, to the inside of that defense. He had been a defensive end, and during the week, Jurowitz, they split over, but Unverzat is one of the unheralded linebackers.
And he was really responsible for that play. He would not allow him to get outside. He's the experienced guy starting his 21st game in his career here. Good player.
2nd down and 9. Tillman and Stanley, the wide receivers. Stanley motion, in fact, becomes a slot man, and off a fake, Hoyne looks that direction, and he picks off Tillman with his first reception, and Tillman driven out of bounds at the 31-yard line. 1st down, Buckeyes. The big question about Wisconsin, the defensive backfield. They were torched in that opener by Colorado, but Jason Suttle's starting to subtly improve his game at the corner.
He has improved. He's a young guy, as you said, Brent, but they won't really put him on Terry Glenn and say just cover him around. They're going to change up the coverages as much as they can and give Terry Glenn many different looks in regard to corner coverage.
Valuable man is Nicky Sualua, the fullback who's in front of George frequently. You can follow George right behind Sualua as he does that time. And again, they're outnumbered at the point of attack, only a couple of yards. And Jurowicz, very active. Dick, let's take a breath here and take a look at your Victor keys. Let's start with Ohio State.
Well, you know, they played awfully well the last 2 weeks, and to come in and play 3 times in a row like that, they're going to have to play like that again, and that's tough to do. They have to do a good job of protecting Bobby Hoying. Even though they've been winning, he's been getting knocked down too many times. Can't allow that to happen today. And they have to force Wisconsin to throw the win because they would rather run the football.
2nd down and 8 for the Bucks. Glenn is the motion man coming back to the line. Hoying sees him doubled up, comes up underneath, and George dropped it. Had the turn and everything and simply couldn't hang on. George has been a very effective receiver out of the backfield, and that a big drop.
See, they ran the play action. He wanted to go downfield. The coverage took it away, so he's going to go to his layoff. And, you know, if you're going to throw on these downs, you want to end up getting something out of it. And George just takes to see his helmet turn right before he tucked the ball away. Have to concentrate on that ball, Eddie.
Third down and 8. The Badgers dropping their linebackers well off the line. They think they can get pressure. They loop, and they do a trick. Hoying is in trouble because of it. Defensive loop on the outside with Jurowicz finally making the stop. And Salah, the one who looped in and disrupted the play.
You know what the coverage did? The coverage rolled up both corners right up and contested the wide receivers coming off the line of scrimmage. Bobby couldn't throw it right away. That gave the rush time to get there. And Bobby Hoying, as I said already, has been knocked down a lot. And to consider how well he's throwing the ball, that's credit to him. He's a tough guy.
Brent Bartholomew punting for the first time into that wind. It is not easy, but it took a Buckeye bounce out of bounds at the 36. We'll be right back. So welcome everybody who has watched the Florida-Auburn game down in the Southeastern Conference. Here we have Wisconsin in a battle to stay unbeaten, not only nationally as far as the Buckeyes are concerned behind John Cooper, but the Badgers are unbeaten in the Big Ten. Now, those of you who just joined us from the Gators win, here is the key play. It was the tight end Ricky Dudley with a big gain for the Bucks, but he fumbled, and that set up the field goal. So that's where we are now with a 2nd down and 8 yards coming up for the Badgers. And Darrell Bevel, the Badgers are wearing the dark red jerseys, coached by Barry Alvarez. John Cooper across the way for the Buckeyes, and it is 3-0 with the quarterback Darrell Bevel, 25 years old, his 4th season as their starter. He's been one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the nation over the last few years. At that time, got it off under heavy pressure, short of the 1st down. But Finkus was in his face that time as he got the pass off. Now our Chili's backs and receivers here. Carl McCullough is the key running back, number 13 as far as the Badgers are concerned, and Tony Simmons, number 82, who caught that ball. He is the leading touchdown producer as far as receivers are concerned here at Wisconsin. 31 career catches, 11 for touchdowns, which is amazing. Now look for a short yardage play. 2 tight ends. Martin flares, fake McCullough. They do not go for, incomplete. Nyquist, the intended receiver.
Again, Matt Fink has got a little pressure on him, and Bevel didn't set up properly. He threw that actually sidearm trying to get that ball out there. But Brad Childress, the offensive coordinator for Wisconsin, said they wanted to change up some of the things they've been doing. Go ahead, Brent.
But Jerry Wunsch has keyed the offensive line. He comes over and sits down, and now we have a punting situation.
Number 3, Demetrius Stanley.
Demetrius Stanley set to return. Brian Alexander punting for the Badgers, standing back at the 30-yard line. Almost blocked, and there's the penalty flag. He didn't get the ball. That is going to give Wisconsin a first down. That will be a first down. Ball down on the 2-yard line, but forget about it. This is a first down Badgers. Tom Quinn will tell you about it.
I tell you, I think this will be a 15-yarder too. Here comes Vrabel right up number 94, right up in the middle, and he really knocks him down. That's going to be called roughing, and I believe it'll be 15. If he'd have gotten any piece of the ball or it had been blocked illegally into it, they go from having... Taking another look. I tell you, Brian Alexander, 98, did a good job of hanging in there. I mean, he got his leg collapsed and everything else. You have to protect that punter.
A little bit of a dry taste over there in Coach Cooper's mouth. And Barry Alvarez is glad to have this game in Madison today. He felt very confident. You could feel it in conversations with this coaching staff.
Oh, nice job by Vrabel, Brent.
Defensively, Vrabel, one of the ends, making the stop. Belisari, number 30, is certainly a man to watch. Springs, for those of you who just checked in, has been in the defensive backfield all game long. Number 24 has been playing today. So Belisari is here, and there is Springs.
He's capable of locking up on a guy and taking him anywhere he goes on the field and covering.
Second down and 10, and Bevel getting protection. Intercepted, a bad throw. Misread, and it was picked off by Gwynn and the Buckeyes with the turnover, and that squares that at a turnover apiece. And so far, folks, we've seen some sloppy football.
See, this time they rolled up in double zone, and the corner played aggressively. He played very aggressively to the left side of your screen, and the safety just rotating over there. There's Gwynn taking it. See, he played tight and aggressive, and there's two different ways to play your corner when you roll up. You play him soft, or you play him tough. They played him tough. It worked out.
Put the chicken on the grill and you smoke it all up. Put the cheese on the chicken and you wrap it all up with the guaca. You put the guacamole with the pico. Sprinkle on pico de gallo. Put it all in a tortilla. And now you got a Chili's fajita.
Nobody makes chicken fajitas like Chili's. Nobody.
So did you call for phone service?
Is technology amazing? At GTE, we think it should make your life easier, like Express Dial Tone,
Hi, it's GTE.
which allowed Kim Swanson to order new phone service by plugging in her phone,
Cool number, thanks.
which she finds pretty
What are you
amazing.
gonna do for dinner?
We could have some wieners.
Why? Because she won't have to eat something really scary for dinner tonight. Amazing.
If you buy a Cavalier today, we wouldn't be surprised if by the time it's scheduled for a tune-up, you've already got it paid off. If by the time it needs new rear shocks, you have your master's degree. If by the time it needs a transmission fluid change, your baby is in first grade. Or if by the time it needs a new muffler, we've elected 2 presidents. Any car can be easy to buy. Cavalier is easy to own. That's what makes it a genuine Chevrolet.
The silver and black are on the attack, but John Elway and the Broncos are ready to stampede. Oakland battles Denver on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Well, again, for the folks who just checked in, Bobby Hoyne is our quarterback, and our Chili's backs and receivers look this way with Eddie George, the key man. Very good offensive line. Orlando Pace is the key man at the left tackle spot, and he will lead the way this time as they run in that direction, and George is ambushed. A couple of yards that time was Spiller getting over on the stop for the Badgers.
Now, Spiller was the man that's been playing defensive tackle inside, and they switched him to the outside and moved Jurowitz, number 85, back to the inside. And I think it's going to pay off. They've both made plays already from their new positions.
Sumner, Porter, Daniels, Golston. Daniels a bit shaken up for the Bucks. He has been in there. He is at right guard, number 57, so they have not had to make a move. They've made some adjustments in the defensive line. The Badgers are obviously confident. They have backed the linebackers off, playing them straight up so far. Fired and Glenn with his first reception. Terry the Terrific out of bounds with Subtle, number 28, defended him on that side. So our Chili's defensive lineup, Unverzant, the key inside linebacker, and we just saw Subtle in that defensive secondary. He is number 28. So the Bucks are on the move. It's just a matter of time. The Badgers are going to have to put some points on the board to stay with what is now becoming one of the most exciting, entertaining offenses in college football this year. Weapons everywhere you look. It looks like the Badgers are eyeing George every time he makes a move. First down and 10. And a big hole to the 35-yard line.
Real good blocking both by Jamie Sumner, the left guard, and the fullback, Mickey Salalua. The guard will pull around, and the fullback will kick out. Does an awfully nice job on that. Two key blocks right at the point of attack, opening it up inside.
That Pearson, who had checked in at that tailback spot, got the call that time, and this puts them now second and short. Now Eddie George returns, and he is set deep. First down, Buckeyes, just short of the 30-yard line.
Boy, I'll tell you, Jason Manecki, the defensive tackle, that time exploded into the offensive backfield.
You see him going off right here, Coach? He's having trouble with a shoe.
He's capable of running right out of it, I'll tell you that.
Now, you see, when he finally signs that lucrative contract, they'll give him shoelaces along with that. Okay, that's part of the deal when you sign a shoe contract.
That's not included in your scholarship.
No, that doesn't come. You gotta get go down there. Nicky Sualua. And Glenn
coming out of the backfield.
Try to get him different looks. Now he cuts over, fires a bouncer. Hoyne had him against double coverage. He broke beautifully to the post, but Hoyne didn't put it in his hands.
And he's been throwing so efficiently. His percentage completion coming into this ball game, 66%. 15 touchdowns this year, Brent. 19 in the entire 11-game schedule last year. Here he comes in with 15 this year. They're going downfield so much better, and that really, really worries the defensive coordinator here at Wisconsin. That's Kevin Cosgrove. Their plan is to not allow, especially Terry Glenn, to come off the line of scrimmage cleanly. They're going to change up on what they want to do on him all the time.
Iowa with a big season, holding a 1-point lead on Indiana right now. Close wins, for Penn State. Purdue battled them, but the Nittany Lions prevail. Here, Buckeyes. There is that tight end, and he's getting a lot of attention. Dudley has drawn a crowd this time. Taylor is over there to hit him. And if there was anything that the Badger defensive coaches were determined to do today, it's like that O-line. We're going to make him play football. He hasn't played football yet. They've been fanning on tackles. We're going to hit him. We're going to hit him once and twice.
That's what they said. They said he's a basketball player playing football. We're going to make him play football. You know, the only thing is, last week against Penn State, he played football about as well as that position can play. But, you know, and the Badgers have not given up a touchdown in the first quarter yet this year. They're tough to score on down there.
Well, here it is, 3rd and 8 right now. Buckeyes are down a field goal. There's Terry the Terrific over there, number 83. Hoyne flushed it on the move. They came after him that time. He's short of the first down with the completion. It was a nice pass under pressure and short of the first down.
Well, they brought the outside linebacker, Darryl Carter, number 19. He got in there. They didn't get him picked up. You'll see the pressure appear from the left side of your screen. Here he comes. He's a good athlete. He can chase him down, but he pushed him right out in the face of the throw, and it actually made it an easy throw. There it is. He's working back to the ball. Nice comeback.
4th and 2. Bucks are down a field goal, going for the first down. Big Nicky Sualua is split. He's over to the left. Coyne's gonna throw. Tillman. First and goal.
You know, in a real good changeup, instead of going to the bread and butter guy, Glenn, they go backside away from the coverage, get a little different situation over there. Good changeup. Here we are, one-on-one. One-on-one, he's backing up, Stuart Williams, number 7. See, he just stops up. That's an easy, high percentage throw. Does a good job with it, tucks it away. Good call. Everyone thinking, I'm going to go to Glenn. No, I'm going to stay away from terrific this time.
It looked like, Dick, on that far side, Tillman may have been shaken up when he went down. First and goal. And now the Buckeyes, lethal inside that red zone this season, have a first crack at it with George. George, of course, got the call from the 12-yard line on consecutive carries against Penn State. And he trotted in for the winning touchdown. Jurowitz bringing him down. And now this will be second down.
And you can see by this graphic, they've done an outstanding job when they get down in this red zone. 17 touchdowns. 74% of the time they're in there, they score a touchdown. 96% of the time otherwise. Outstanding performance in the red zone.
Now Sualua is the lone running back with George on the sideline. And Hoynes got Sualua slipping out in the middle, goes beyond him to Demetrius Stanley, and that's deflected off and picked off. He had Sualua underneath, went for the man beyond him, and Huntley got the deflection for an interception. Oh, baby, what a big moment for the Badgers.
It's a big one for Huntley. That's the first interception in his young career. They're playing a zone coverage down there, just watching the quarterback throw the football. The ball was thrown high. He could not get it tucked away. Sualua was wide open underneath the throw. He didn't go to him. He went to the wrong guy. Gets batted in the air. A pick going the other way.
Timeout. Madison.
There was a time when we didn't have a worry in the world. Today, well, we seem to be making up for it. That's why you need Chevy Lumina, a car you can trust, a car so well engineered and affordable, you could have it paid off long before it needs its first tune-up. Chevy Lumina, because someday you'll realize nobody's got enough money and everybody's got enough worries.
25 years together. They've just flown by. 25 years of kids, jobs, moving. I didn't just want to bring her back to her favorite place. I wanted to give her something she's only dreamt of.
The 25th anniversary diamond necklace.
One fall, we took out our son's favorite sweater, and it didn't fit anymore. I think life insurance is like that. You don't realize how much your life has changed until you take out your policies and sit down with your agent. That's why we have the State Farm Family Insurance Checkup. I can help you see if your coverages are up to date, or if you've outgrown them. Then you make the decision. A policy has to fit, just like a sweater.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Saturday night on ABC, brand new episodes of the Jeff Foxworthy Show, and maybe this time starring Marie Osmond and Betty White, then a world premiere movie, Picture Perfect, starring Home Improvements, Richard Karn, Grace Under Fire's Dave Thomas, and Mary Page Keller. All new Saturday night right here on ABC. First and 10 for the Wisconsin Badgers, who lead the favored Ohio State Buckeyes by a field goal. Turnover in the end zone on the pass. McCullough and friends come back to the attack. And this time it's Martin, the fullback, who like Sualua for Ohio State, can be a very effective offensive weapon for quarterback Bevel. You're looking at one of the more mature men in all of college football. Married. Darrell Bevel, now 25 years old, and even though he threw a bad interception a short time ago, he has been clearly very efficient over the last few weeks. The Buckeyes, on the other hand, they're in a football game. We don't have to tell you that. A fumble and an interception in the end zone already, and they trail it by a field goal. And slamming McCullough.
You know, Brent, you use the term slamming. That's what Wisconsin Badger offense is best at doing. Slamming the ball right up the middle with what we call zone combination blocking. People coming off together and picking up stunts and everything like that, and it's really tough on the defensive lineman because many times you end up with 2 guys on 1 before this second offensive lineman comes off and blocks a linebacker, and they run up inside as well as anybody.
One of the original slammers here, folks, was a fellow by the name of Alan Amici.
Out in the horse.
Heisman Trophy winner back in 1954. Now on 3rd down. And
nice job.
Buckeyes go to it, but he gets the first down. So Carl McCullough, sophomore, 6'3", 218 pounds. And he is one of the leading rushers in the nation. In fact, as we take a look at the list, quickly, who do you think is number 1? You wouldn't have got it. How many of you really now honestly knew it was Troy Davis? What a year at Iowa State. But the point is, look at the Big Ten. Iowa with Shaw, NU with Autry. Dick, there's George. There's McCullough. There's Darkins, somewhat unheralded. They don't get a lot of television coverage over there. 1st and 10, gets away now. Bevel picks it up, looking for a receiver. He's home in. Oh, baby!
You know what happened? He made the fake, and the running back's foot kicked the ball out of his hand. You know, and he made the fake. He didn't get it put back in his stomach quick enough. Well, take a look at that from behind. I really believe he makes the fake, does a good job. He doesn't get it tucked in. Now, look, he dropped it right out of there. My gosh, now he has the poise and confidence to pick it up and throw it downfield for the completed pass. We've seen it all already.
There's his roommate, London, whom he finally hooked up with down there.
Maybe
there's a 19. Dick, I have a question that I'm going to get to about that play. 1st and 10.
Oh, my God. College football.
Don't believe it was planned, do you folks?
Even though they're roommates.
Now here's McCullough, slammed by Vrabel, who makes a big play. Jackaroo.
Right. You're talking about Darrell Bevel at age 25. He showed some maturity there. And you know why he's so old is he's a Mormon and went on a 2-year mission. And believe it or not, it was in Cleveland, Ohio. One of the great things, Barry Alvarez makes fun of the fact that Bevel's so old. When he goes to speaking engagements, he says, I knew when I went to school with Darrell Bevel that he was going to have great leadership qualities.
Well, we're all raving about Darrell Bevel on that play, and justifiably so. But I'm going to speak up for the lineman who did not illegally move downfield in that situation, which was my question for the coach here, as Bevel moves, fires, incomplete. Dick, talk about the discipline of somebody over on the left side of that offensive line who didn't break down. They didn't have an ineligible receiver downfield and simply allowed a play to develop.
Well, normally an offensive lineman would expect the quarterback to go ahead and run in that situation. It's very lucky that they didn't read it as a broken play and run, like you say, and get upfield and call that nice play back.
Now, we're always criticizing running backs and other folks who don't dive on a ball and recover the fumble. How come we say that Darrell Bevel is the slickest player we have seen since Magic? Now, how come we jump on his bandwagon? Just a question now, folks.
You never get mad when it works.
You know? That's right, isn't it? You never get mad when it works. Bevel strips, but now, and he will not get away from Vrabel. I think Vrabel is one of the fine defensive ends in college football. Number 94 this year has been coming on. You know, he is no longer a surprise. When you play Ohio State, you better get ready for Vrabel.
You know, last year he had a great year sacking a quarterback. He's coming from the left side of your screen, working up there on Jerry Wunsch, number 71, that we mentioned in the early part of the broadcast. He'd give you problems. Last year he had 12 sacks. Right now, he just got his 3rd. People are doing a better job of pass protecting him.
Dick says here that the Bucks have called a timeout in Madison.
$26.
Harry.
Yeah?
How come you're charging me for the hot dogs?
The 52-inch Magnavox big screen TV with smart screen and a picture so good you can charge for the hot dogs. Smart. Very smart. Now get a pair of wireless speakers free when you purchase a Magnavox big screen TV.
Sunday after Sunday, we believe in putting on our best. Maybe that's why no car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR than Chevrolet.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open where it's all plain to see that the land is pure, untamed and free. There's no place that I'd rather be. So come on along and head for the mountains of Bush Deer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Deer.
Well, it didn't make much sense to me when they said that Ohio State had called the timeout because of the wind situation, and it is now confirmed that Wisconsin called timeout. So college football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million folks depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Smooth Bush Beer and easy drinking Bush Light. And De Beers, a diamond is forever. So now Stanley set to return.
They better do a better job of protecting up inside again.
Very aware. And this is returnable. But the move was slick, and he could not get past Taylor.
He actually made a mistake. The return man, Demetrius Stanley, should have just attacked straight ahead. He had a nice hole right up in front. He tried to get a little too fancy with that, Brent. Take it upfield when you can.
Report to the ticket office.
Bobby Hoyne and the Buckeyes. Dick, I know that folks are just joining us here. Last 10 seconds of the first quarter. Wisconsin leading favored Ohio State. 2 Buckeye turnovers. Sort of an overview of what you're seeing with just Ohio State right now.
Well, I don't think they've done anything crisply yet, really. You know, they fumbled the ball twice, and that kind of fumble once, an interception. They still have run the ball okay. Here, second time he's been knocked down, this is a sack.
Salah at the 22-yard line. That's the first sack at the end of the first quarter. And obviously on the other side, we would have to say that the Badgers are going to be tough to beat here today.
Here comes one. Oh, an 87 Buick station wagon. Got it. 74 Volkswagen Beetle. A 285 horsepower V8 6-speed 1996 Chevy Camaro Z28.
Yeah, but what color?
Thanks to Sprint Business, now the world is flat. Introducing flat rate pricing for small businesses on all your long distance, even for Sprint 800 service. Enhanced fax and cellular long distance. One low flat rate for everything all over the country, so you know just what you're paying.
Now that's simple.
Call now for flat rate pricing. 1-800-827-3700. Call Sprint Business.
Company sells snorkels. Is shocked by high shipping costs. Goes to post office. Finds parcel post as a smart solution. Doesn't cost much. Snorkels get delivered. Company keeps its head above water. Person needs to send resume to New York.
Wants to make a big impression. Goes to post office. Finds out priority mail is a smart solution. Resume gets noticed. Person gets job. Now, if you can only get a cab.
Shake it, no dandruff. You've got Selsun Power. Brush it, no flakes. You've got Selsun Power with Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it #1 over all leading brands. Dandruff problem? No way. You've got Selsun Power.
Which hotel has the right rates and the right rooms for business travelers? Last year, 14 million people found the answer. Ramada.
We'll see this promo throughout the day. Our coverage next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time. I'm going to pick out a different game each time, and kind of some of you be watching. Grambling State, Jackson State I want to talk about first, because Eddie Robinson, 400 wins. Folks, that's unbelievable what he's accomplished, and it just overwhelms you. And next Saturday at 7 Eastern Time, Game 1 of the 1995 World Series here on ABC. So that's a reminder of what's ahead as the championship series come to a conclusion right now. And at the conclusion of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. And to date, Chevrolet has contributed almost $5.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. So the genuine Chevrolet MVP coming up at the end of the game. Second down and 17. Eddie George in at running back. I formation for the sluggish Buckeyes, still looking for that attack, and here it comes. They flare George to the 29-yard line, almost back to the original line of scrimmage with that play, Coach.
Well, LaShawn Daniels came out on that little slip screen, and they got him the ball, but LaShawn Daniels looked like he was favoring an old injury. You know, he was banged up a little bit last week, and he came out there, but he didn't look like he was really sprinting. Taking a look at the numbers, Ohio State should be ahead in the football game, but those 2 turnovers have just killed them. They're ahead in everything else. Wisconsin, 4 yards, 2 yards rather rushing. Boy, that's really holding them back.
3rd and 11. Out of the pocket. And cracked at the 31 by Chad Yoakum.
That's a coverage sack. See, they changed up the defense. Rush 3, covered 5 underneath, and went 3 deep. He had no place to go with the football, and Chad Yoakum just kept coming. You know, and we saw Chad play in that first game. He's the young man that came off the back surgery, and they weren't sure if he was going to be able to play, and he did a nice job there.
Bartholomew in to punt. Stecker ready to return it for the Badgers.
Let's go. Have a seat over here.
Under pressure. Bartholomew gets off a beautiful punt. Fair catch, and Stecker hauls it in at the 35-yard line with a penalty thrown at the 29-yard line. Against the punting team.
Illegal formation.
You can see Alvarez wants the ball instead.
They have
so
not
the penalties
been,
decline.
And the reason they haven't really been, you know, they've had some problems in the kicking game, Brandon.
On the kicking team, decline.
Yeah, the punt return team, they have a -3 yards so far in 4 ball games. So no sense in putting them in that situation. Again, get out there offensively and move the ball. They have not run the ball well at all. 4 yards in the first quarter running the football, and that's what they do best. That's how they like to beat people. They better get it going.
McCullough has been the target of the defense. Winfield into that defensive backfield for the Buckstick. So McCullough for a couple of yards. And John Saunders, how about the Trojans of Southern Cal?
Brent trying to remain unbeaten like Ohio State, and Larry Parker fields the punt and takes off. Goes one way, then the other, stays on his feet, Eventually, about 57 yards before he fumbles the ball, and Mike Bastianelli falls on it in the end zone for the touchdown. 10-0. USC has the lead. Brent, back to you.
And here, John, it's 3-0 Badgers over the Buckeyes. That's the time remaining in the second quarter before John gives us a full recap of everything. London from the left side. Now Bevel going deep and incomplete. Gwynn with a shot at it. But it's interesting that Springs is off the field right now. He has been substituted for, and we are left wondering if that ankle has acted up again, because Jack Arute has gone to the Buckeye sideline to find out as quickly as he can. Reggie Torian bringing the play in from the Badgers sideline right now, and Springs is returning. Now let's see where they deploy him.
I'll tell you, now they have corners in these positions. They're more apt to be able to blitz when you have 3 corners in playing defense than if you have 2 corners and 2 safeties.
And this is
Here they come, blitz.
3rd and 8 on him. Gets time, fires. London slipped a little bit, whether it was contact with Winfield or not. He slipped and hadn't come free.
It looked like Winfield had his left hand on him. See, they brought the pressure up inside. Here's London coming down the middle. You see, he gets a little hand on him right there. That's incidental, but I don't think that caused the slip.
Both punters better be alert here.
Now he's punting into the wind. For the punt returner, that ball falls short and dead quickly. You really got to make sure you move into it. Not that kind of punt.
This is Stanley. On run up to the 44-yard line.
Stanley on the run back.
And it's still 3-0 Badgers.
It is said he is to computer software what Thomas Edison is to the light bulb. The software Bill Gates developed runs 2/3 of the computers in the world. And on the day he turned 36, his company, Microsoft, was bigger than Xerox, Kodak, and McDonald's. Where in today's world do you find companies capable of such astonishing growth? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Hey, look, it's a Pontiac Sunfire. Now, if you take yours dog sledding in the Yukon, all that interior room means, for once, your sled dogs won't argue about who gets in front. Or if you take your Pontiac Sunfire zipping over to that Pisa place, the sport suspension and high-revving engine mean you'll really enjoy driving it at full tilt. Pontiac Sunfire. Finally, a real set of wheels you can really afford.
Here we go. Whopper Junior Value Meal. Whopper for me and a double Whopper.
Thanks, man.
Double Whopper. I'm scared of you.
It's good. It's as big as the American way. Big cars, big houses, big food.
At Burger King, get the flame-broiled taste of a Whopper value meal for just your size appetite at just your size price, starting at $1.99. And get your burger's worth.
And what about moderation?
Moderation's cool, if there's a whole lot of it.
Burger King, get your burger's worth.
Penn State battles Big Ten rival Iowa. Kansas State takes on Big 8 power Nebraska. Or other conference games and regional action. Next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
Season tickets are available, so stop by and get another ticket off.
Monday night on ABC, Jeff Fahey stars in an all-new episode of The Marshall. And this week on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, Raiders take on the Broncos. Classic AFC West match. Action Monday begins at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on ABC. Well, here the Badgers lead the Buckeyes 3-0 in the second quarter. And this is George. Big hole on that left side, and George rips to the 47-yard line.
Real good blocking at the point by Orlando Pace. He just stretched the defensive lineman out there, and then when that big Nicky Savalua comes through there and gets on a linebacker, the hole really enlarges quickly. Left side of your screen, 75, he lacks on to 42, Tarek Slaw, and just see, he can just muscle. You see, and plus, a defender that size can't even see where the ball is. It's a big mountain in front of you. 6'6", 320, and that's probably about 15 pounds off.
Second down now, and George battering ram for the first down. He bounced off Flanagan and got the first down.
He did it all over again. You might as well run left and keep going as if you got a guy that tight on him. Orlando Pace comes off on Tarek Salah, 42, and does the same thing. He just turns him out. Now he's going to need some help inside. See, he's so big and strong, it's a mismatch physically. They're going to have to get some help from the tackles and inside linebacker. Play's over. Gotta see him, man. I'm glad I'm not down there.
Seems to be a matter of time for this Buckeye offense. Win or win. George the receiver. And that's a good 6-yard gain for the Bucks on first down.
Well, Kevin Cosgrove, the defensive coordinator, Brant, said, you know, they're going to try to, if they possibly can, to move the defense around. Just don't always sit right in front of a guy and take him on physically and stunt according to formations. Here's Kevin Cosgrove right there running the defense from the sideline. Oh, Kevin, he's so big.
A field goal difference right now. And Hoyne. And again, coming up underneath that coverage, and this is the first down, using his running back, George, out of the backfield.
He actually had Dudley in the hole on a turn-in pattern, and I think maybe because of that one interception going into score in the first quarter, it shook him just a little bit. He didn't let the ball go, so he does the positive thing, takes the layoff man and gets the first down.
Pepe Pearson enters the game as George leaves for a breather right now. The Bucks threatening again. They've moved to the 26-yard line. Down here once before. And Hoyne tossed an interception in the end zone. Pearson jammed up by the right side of the Badger defense. 3 or 4 of the red shirts all over him down there.
See, they were still going to try to run over there behind Orlando Pace, but that time Brian Jerwis, the defensive tackle, ricocheted off inside out, got a little piece of him, just enough to delay him enough for the other red jerseys to show up and make the play. They're so physical across that front, boy, and normally they outweigh that defensive front by, you know, an average of 25 pounds or so. I mean,
great time that time. Tillman caught it at the 11 and tried to come around and loop back and find more daylight, and perhaps lost half of a yard to a yard, but it's good enough for a first down for the Buckeyes, who are threatening again for Coach Cooper.
Well, they've had the defense opponents 15 times in the red zone. They've given up 12 scores down here. 7 of them touchdowns, so they've been had down in this area.
But they weren't had the last time the Buckeyes were down there.
The Buckeyes helped them.
They are 0 for 1 today. 4 down linemen for the Badgers. Glenn is in motion. Fake by Hoyne. He is mirroring Glenn. Now there's an opening, and he stopped at the 1-yard line and crushed right there by Suttle.
Wow. He took a hit. He wants to play the whole season. He better slide in there. This is a naked bootleg coming out the backside. He makes a strong fake. Now he sucks the defensive lineman right down inside. There's no one there and contained. He's looking downfield. He had a man for a second. Now he tries to become a running back. I don't recommend this often. Boom, helmet to helmet like that. That's the way to get hurt.
That small fake and that man that he was looking at was Terry Glenn. And so the team that has stopped the run will dig in and see what they can do against Su'Alua or George. Behind Su'Alua, not that time. Touchdown Buckeyes, their first lead, and it is 6-3. Made it look comfortably easy on that drive too. There was nothing sensational about it, but it was extremely efficient, using the pass and the run and the quarterback rolling for a few yards.
They fired the linebackers right up in there, and they couldn't make the play anyway because big LaShawn Daniels, 57, stepped around and brush blocked him just enough to allow him to get in the end zone.
Now, Josh Jackson will handle not only the extra points and the field goals, but he will be kicking off today. Bangs his first extra point. Ohio State leading Wisconsin 7-3 here in the first half.
So I go pick up a pizza. Say I'll be right back. Took my new Pontiac Grand Am. Turned a little errand into an opportunity. Maybe take a little side trip. Pizza's still warm. This new twin cam engine loves being let loose. The way it turns, hang on little mushrooms. It's nice to put your right foot down and mean it. Uh-oh, she sent someone out to look for me. That's the problem with a hot car like the Grand Am. You end up bringing home cold pizza.
We are driving excitement, Pontiac. There's no stealing your thunder. No, it can't be contained. You fill me with wonder and cool me off like rain. You're a part of me. That's the heart of me. Without you, I'm just a lonely melody. But together we are harmony. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me.
A date on the calendar. Monthly exams. The beat of a heart. A glimpse into the future. All the pieces that add up to a large dose of caring and concern from a pioneer in managed health care. Because babies need to be taken care of well before they're born. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Regionalized pay-per-view coverage next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. I want to mention about Kansas State and Nebraska. How about a week in which you pick up and read the polls, and here in October both Kansas and Kansas State are in the top 10. Can't quite remember that. What a job Coach Snyder has done in Manhattan with Kansas State. And of course Kansas went in and absolutely blew away Colorado. A lot of folks thinking that Colorado should have been ranked 1 or 2 based upon the strength of their schedule. Kickoff is fielded by Stecker. Stecker twists to the 22-yard line where the Badgers will put it in play.
You know, Jamie Sumner, the offensive guard on this play, did a good job of blocking down, pinning it. They brought the offensive guard 57 around on the linebacker and put the fullback on the other linebacker, 47, Unversat, who's going to fire. 47 firing the hole. That's what he's got to do. Not a lot of time down there, but you see LaShawn Daniels, number 57, came around and sealed it nicely.
Ohio State's defense playing well today. They have stood up. They're getting penetration out of Vrabel and Finkus here today. Bevel searching for an offense. Badgers trying to find a running game with McCullough that time for 3.5 yards. Now, top 10. I want you to see why we should not be voting. This should not be a subjective vote to determine who goes where. Dick, circle down there at the bottom. Colorado and Kansas 9 and 10 down there. Just circle that for me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, did I misread my paper? Did Kansas go in and torch Colorado with 40 points, knock their quarterback out for the remainder of the season, and yet somehow Colorado stays ahead of them? And these are the folks that determine who's going to play where in bowl games. Thank you very much. I'd rather have a computer analyzing strength of schedule. Here's McCullough now to the 30-yard line. Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, you might be able to calm down next year because there's a move afoot for a couple of changes. One possibility is that the bowls themselves would start their own poll and not do any balloting till the end of the regular season and use that for selection. That's been tossed out. But the one that I find real interesting is the coaches poll, literally not having any preseason polling and don't have the first balloting until the end of the first month of play. That could make things a lot different.
Yeah, I'd say anything better than the system now being employed. 3rd down and 2. Incomplete, and it's 4th down. Woo!
Darrell is a little bit off. That was an easy throw, not the primary receiver. They said they were going to throw on some third down situations. Look downfield. If it's not there, take the gimme throw. The gimme throw is there. He threw it incomplete. Got to make that throw, Darrell, and he knows it.
Demetrius Stanley set to return now as Wisconsin in with Brian Alexander. Both punters have been under attack here in Madison today.
No snap. Oh, you could run a fake right up in the middle there. Woo.
Stanley from the 26. Slick return to the 32-yard line. Ohio State leading it 7-3. We've got 7:20 to go. First half in Madison.
For years, in your passion for performance sedans, you look to Europe and you pay a painful price. Now there's a new 240 horsepower Pontiac Bonneville. So precise, so responsive, it hardwires your impulses directly to the road. All at a price thousands less than you were prepared to pay. The new Pontiac Bonneville. It makes your passion painless, but no less intense.
The Big Ten Conference, celebrating 100 years of athletic and academic excellence.
Well, there are the teams ranked in the top 25, the top 10 actually, there that we just show you, and that gives you an idea of what they have done so far today. Dick, next week we'll get a chance to see the Seminoles, Bobby Bowden, and Michigan idle in the Big Ten today. And of course, that was a stunning upset last week, wasn't it? Northwestern tonight is over at Minnesota. They will have their hands full against Minnesota. Darkin's a quality running back. Don't be shocked if that one goes the other way, the way Miami of Ohio did after the Notre Dame upset by Northwestern. Here's Hoyne, stands tough, and the tight end did not hang on. And now, folks, I got to ask Coach Vermeil something. You know, we got Bud Grant in the Midwest and Woody. Now look at that. Now, would Woody Hayes ever show up for this game with gloves? Now I want you folks back in Columbus now to be honest with me. Now, Barry, come on, man. You played down in Nebraska, coached down at Iowa, coached at Notre Dame, and look at this. That guy's unbelievable.
You're tough. You know that. You're tough.
He's done a great job
He's the
here.
head coach. He could be comfortable down there.
He's a nice fella. He's done a heck of a job in this town, folks. Really love having him around. Put the show on the road, didn't he?
Looks like they're bringing people. Yes, they are.
Incomplete. Maybe it's the weather, or maybe it's the fact that both defenses are helmet knocking here today. But we haven't seen that real good, sensational offense yet, have we?
No, we have not. They have both sputtered. Ohio State has been much better. Wisconsin hasn't done anything, and I think you have to credit the defensive game plan there by Bill Young for shutting down that running game. That's what they wanted to do, and everybody always talks about that, but he's done it. Three-man line.
So the crowd attempting, and Hoyne trips and goes down. It's that kind of a Saturday here in Madison.
We're seeing it all. We're seeing it all.
And some of it we'd like not to see so much of.
Not in the same half.
The Cheeseheads love it here, don't they? The Packers and now the Badgers. And look at that rose there on the left side of the big W. Bartholomew from Florida State, scholarship to attend Ohio State in Columbus. Stecker, and Coach Alvarez waiting for Stecker. Bad snap on the punt. Oh my. And they're waving everybody away from it. Takes a nice Ohio State roll. Boy, they got the most out of that here on the artificial turf.
Yeah, you should have a guy coming after to block every time, just in case you get a bad snap or a drop ball. No pressure that time. Gave him time to pick it up.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No excuses. Speed Stick's no-nonsense formula gives you 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
By men.
Goodyear retailers have lowered prices on America's #1 brand.
Lower! Lower! Lower!
Everyday lows start at $19.99 and save 25% on other famous Goodyear tires. How low are the prices? Drop in and find out.
Starting with Windows 95, your computer will be able to take advantage of all that cool new stuff. But it will still be compatible with old stuff. Start growing. Start Windows 95.
Brent, you know, we've talked about all the great cheese that's made in the state of Wisconsin. Well, it's America's dairy land, and in order to have the cheese, you've got to have the milk. Here at the University of Wisconsin, they have a complete working dairy farm, and believe it or not, they've asked me to milk one of their cows. I've nicknamed her Brentina.
Come on, Jack, show me something, partner. Come on.
Well, that's not that tough.
Come on.
Hey, Brent. Brentina gave some good milk. Yeah. You know, we did it yesterday, and I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Okay. Bevel shakes defenders. Here's to London. London at midfield. A broken play winds up being perhaps the biggest play of the half for the Badgers. He's had 2 busted plays. One off the double dribble, and now he hits London, his roommate, on the scramble, and that's a 28-yarder.
Good pressure coming off both corners by the defensive ends, Vrabel and Finkus. They push him back up inside. They do a good job of picking it up inside. He just looks like he's going to run, then just lays it off there, and he lays it off to a guy that can really run in Michael London, number 4.
The crowd cheering because the sun has broken through the cloud cover here at Madison, Wisconsin.
I thought it was because they saw the first offensive play.
Now Bevel. Bevel firing left side. Simmons makes a circus catch and pulls it down inside at 25. Finally, we've got some quality football going on.
Big time catch, one-handed. Here he is. That's the advantage of being 6'2". Look at that. Is that Terry Glenn? No, it's 82. Tony Simmons.
Don't worry, 83 will be out there.
Beautiful job. Boy, great concentration. Makes the quarterback look good, gets him fired up, gains some momentum.
Inside the 25, McCullough slams now to the 17-yard line. Jackaroo.
Brent, obviously, they're drinking their milk. This is the milk from yesterday. We milked the cow, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We've got one of the Wisconsin cheerleaders here, and I've still got the bucket. And she's bringing it up to you so you can have a taste of the fruit as well.
Thank you very much. There it is, huh? Always nice to come to Wisconsin. One thing, folks, they feed us well here. Now inside the red zone for the Badgers. A field goal is all they've got to show for their work so far. Nyquist starts back. Now Bevel, long reaching handoff to McCullough, gave the defense time to react to it, and they certainly did.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel, the defensive end, he got blocked, but he stayed and pushed and pushed and pushed upfield and would not allow the corner to be turned, and the running back had no place to go.
Third down and 6, pushback just outside the 20-yard line.
Coming into this ball game, Wisconsin was a very good third down conversion team.
Buckeyes press on the left side of the defense, and they're going to overwhelm him.
Got him. That's a new defense. They haven't run that this year. They covered all 3 guys inside and brought the inside linebacker, Brent. That's tough pickup. You'll see that the center and both offensive guards are covered by the nose guard and 2 tackles, and Belisari is right over the center now. He's going to jump around. There you saw 99. That was Luke Fickle pull the center one way, and they weren't prepared for that stunt. That's put in specifically for this game. Bill Young, good call, good decision to put it in the game plan.
And a face mask penalty, you could see when he had his hand up there reaching up for Bevel. He grabbed him. You could see in the replay clearly that he had grabbed the face mask as he was bringing him down. There's no question about this particular penalty.
Bill Young standing right there says, I can't believe it. We put this in specifically for the game plan, did everything right, and then we get a penalty.
Third down and 2 for the Badgers. Good block by McCullough. Incomplete. Simmons in the end zone. Very well covered by Springs.
Boy, you know, that is a tough throw anytime, let alone throw that kind of a pattern against Springs on 3rd and 1. I think they're going to end up second-guessing themselves on that call. Let's say you run it and end up with 4th and inches. Then you have a decision to make if you're going to go for it on 4th down or kick the field goal. Here, they were going for 6 points. They're thinking big.
And now Barry Alvarez sends Bevel back out there and tells him to go for it now. This is 4th down and a yard. But again, he might have left himself 6 inches. As Dick said, if you're going to go for it, you had 2 downs to go for 4. Bevel's in trouble, but he's got a receiver, and Martin from the 11, out of bounds, but it's 1st and goal. But Bevel's hurt.
He's tough. He's not going to stay down for the count. Boy, that was a gutsy decision to come up with that one. He gets the roll out. He's going to roll out to the top of your screen. He's going to take a nice shot. Good pressure there coming. Here it comes. Wham! Nice job by Kevin Johnson, 52, getting the hit, but all for naught. Completed pass.
Now you've got 4 minutes. You're playing for the lead. Your quarterback seems to be okay. At least you hope he's okay. He was looking over because he's got to pass that play on into the huddle. The Buckeyes, meanwhile, with their goal line defense, and it means that 75, Orlando Pace, is in the middle of that defensive line. He has lined up to oppose what is gap between right tackle, right guard. Bevel open, Simmons short of the goal line. Tackled beautifully by Winfield.
They were in man coverage. He followed them all the way, and that's a great job by a true freshman that didn't break the discipline off that play action. He stayed with them all the way, tracked them down, and made a nice play. Big play. Orlando Pace, how valuable can you be? Big horse goes in and plays defense now.
He's coming out
right now because it's not actually now. It's not like a goal line situation, Brent. They're going to play regular defense.
Expecting that Bevel might be throwing the pass. They insert their defensive backs, and Bevel rolling to the left behind McCullough. McCullough needs to get a block to help him, and he couldn't clear the way. They were outnumbered on that side and out of bounds, and now it is 3rd and goal.
Badger tight ends are having a hard time blocking the defensive ends, Finkus and Frabel, Brent. They cannot get a soft corner. They can't get the guy hooked. They can't knock him off the ball. Therefore, they have to keep running parallel line scrimmage, and they can't make any yards that way. They're going to have to come with some kind of a bootleg off that. He's a little banged up maybe right now. He's sucking it up right now. Too close to the end zone to go out.
Well, he perhaps was shaken up just a few minutes ago, and this time he brings it over the sideline.
Yeah, and that was run all the way.
It's surprising that they left the ball in his hands as a result of that. The time.
Yeah, they've got to call timeout.
Well, at this point, he might need it. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. If he needs to shake the wooziness off, huh? 7-3, Buckeyes with the lead, but the Badgers are threatening.
than me.
No, she doesn't. I eat your corn pops.
She does too. I do not. Do too.
Okay. There, satisfied? Wait, my mistake. Now, she has more than you.
The problem with a cereal that's made like popcorn, only sweeter,
still a little off,
is that it disappears like popcorn, only faster.
There, now you're even.
She's got more milk.
Kellogg's Corn Pops. It's hard to stop when it's Pops.
These days, trying to get on top of your financial situation is getting tougher and tougher. What you need is someone with experience and know-how. MetLife can help you get a grip on things and help you make sense of it all. Get Met. It pays.
Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, John Saunders will have scores, highlights from all the action, plus an interview with Northwestern's fine head coach, Gary Barnett, on the surprising start of the Wildcats. As you watch Bevel again, any alley here, Coach?
No place to go. Good inside-out pursuit. Very fine defensive end play by 92 Finkus. See, they want to turn up inside. He's looking for help with this blocker, but there's just too many guys there. Too much time to get to the corner.
So, the Badgers with one timeout left. They have a 4th and goal. They're at about the 4-yard line, although looking away across the way, it is the 3rd down marker.
Yep, the clock says 4th.
Yeah, that says 3rd down over there across the way, and I think the marker, yeah, we get George Hill confirms this is a 3rd and goal.
Watch the tight end on this one.
Bevel fires, fullback, slam, touchdown, Badgers. Took a hit right at the goal line and slammed on in for the lead. Second time Badgers have led today.
That was their 2-point play. They're right in the same situation, same plot in the field. Why save it for 2 points? They actually really wanted to work to Matt Nyquist, number 1, to the tight end on the right side of your screen. They send it back in motion, all in game plan. Now, here comes Cecil Martin to the right side of the screen. They don't pick him up quick enough down here in this intense area. Touchdown.
Ball. Puts it down, off to the right, sliced it, no good.
Oh, whoop. He says,
are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
He hasn't missed an extra point this year.
Yeah, he says,
well, how'd you do that? Now, come here, talk to me something. But I'll tell you one thing, folks, take a close look. Barry Alvarez has taken those gloves off. It's time to get tough in Madison.
He wants to grab him by the ear. He's going to grab him right there and pinch him.
I was first to talk to the holder.
Never dull in college football.
9 plays, 70 yards. Martin with the 4-yard reception for Alvarez and the Badgers. And it's 9-7. John Cooper's Bucks down a deuce here.
They have done a good job this year coming from behind. Or that drive against Penn State a week ago was a dandy. Maybe they need that kind of pressure.
Back to Ohio State, number 3, Demetrius Stanley, and number 83, Terry Glenn.
Stanley and Glenn back deep. There they are. And both of them very dangerous. Don't have to tell you folks watching that. Stanley from the 7-yard line. Left return. Glenn with a good block over there. Battled and gained a few more yards for Demetrius, who made his way to about the 28-yard line. Always nice to see a star like Glenn put his helmet down and throw a block for his teammate on a play like that. And now Bobby Hoyne comes out, and Coach,
he has all 3 timeouts. I'm just leaning over here to see the clock, Brent. He has all 3 timeouts left.
Tillman goes off to the left, and Glenn down here to the right. Suttle is lined up against him. George and Sualua are the running backs, and so now he will drop off the screen to his running back. 4 or 5 yards on that first down play, and it'll be second down. Jurowitz making the stop for the Badgers.
He's played well the entire first half, playing inside for the first time at that defensive tackle position. He's moved inside. He's a smart guy, though, Brent. He's been academic all Big Ten a couple times.
Line forced out. Penalty flag. Sualua's the underneath receiver. And the penalty was thrown in the direction which would indicate a holding call against the Buckeyes.
Eric Goldstein, number 50, the offensive right tackle, trying to block Tarek Salah, which may be a mismatch, and they were going to try to get that situation as many times as they could today. Goldstein is a sophomore, not a lot of experience. Tarek Salah, Jr., who's a good pass rusher, 7 sacks last year. He can get after the quarterback.
Let's think about this Buckeye team just a moment. As good as it is.
10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
How about Corey Stringer? The last time I checked, which I think was going into last Sunday's game, Stringer had not given up a sack yet in the National Football League. Or you got Big Daddy Wilkinson. I guess, will he still be a senior there in Columbus? Think how tough this team, and then those two linebackers
last year.
Howell and Styles would be on the, it would be unfair.
Yeah.
It's only more fair this way.
Yeah. Okay. And don't think the Big Ten coaches don't appreciate it. They like that.
Got to get back 23 yards after the holding penalty. As a 4-man rush. Content with Sualua. Battering ram starts to run and rumble fumble. Bucks recover it.
Nope.
Got loose again. Now the Badgers say they've got it. Badgers have got it. Oh my, the Bucks had it all wrapped up and let it get away.
They give the ball to Sualua. He never gets to carry the football. Here it is, the 6th game of the year. He carries it for the 8th time of his career this season. He goes up. He's just not used to carrying it. He's used to butting people around. He's got it tightly in his left arm right there. He goes down, and the helmet knocks it out. Really a nice job right there by Sir Weems, number 7, who put his hat right on the ball.
Oh, the Buckeyes had a shot at it, and Taylor scoops it up now. The Badgers, with 1 timeout, they lead at 9-7. They've got a minute and a half to work with here. Now, a lot of speed at the receiving spot. Simmons has been a touchdown maker. He's number 82. Torian is number 24. London is number 4. Nyquist, a safety valve guy. He's the tight end. McCullough's in front of Bevel. Vrabel and Finkus hand fighting. Oh, McCullough bobbles it. Howard was all over him coming up defensively for the Bucks.
Look at Ohio State. They're -2, and then the roughing the punter actually makes it like a -3. Wisconsin is 13-0 over the last 3 years when they're plus in turnovers, Brent. You can't give them the football. Darrell Bevel loves the 2-minute drill. Talking to the offensive coordinator, Brad Childress, he says this is what he likes about football the most, the 2-minute drill.
Now, remember, going in, down 16-7 or so is a heck of a lot different than down by 2 points at the half, isn't it? So this big stand for the Bucks. The Badgers will try to get more. Bevel scrambling free. Now drops it off on a ricochet. It was London. Everything is going the Badgers' way, and they're ruling it no good over there.
Incomplete. Intention number 24, Whitney Flores.
He's going to throw it to the crossing pattern to the other receiver, and it gets tipped like you called, Brent. Reggie Turian, 24, he reaches back there. I don't think he was throwing it to Reggie. He was throwing it to number 4, Michael London.
Bevel has the play for the sideline for the Badgers. 3rd down. Torian and Simmons are off to Bevel's left. London to the right. Springs taking London on the boundary side. Now Bevel flushed right at line of scrimmage. Finds Simmons. Simmons falling forward, and there's a penalty flag down. He might have gone across the line. I said it was right at the scrimmage. This is an illegal forward pass. Nope, he had stepped across the line of scrimmage. I knew it was close over there when he got right to it at the spot where he finally released the ball. And this a killer as far as the Badgers are concerned, but Coach Cooper says thank you very much.
It's giving the signal 4th down.
Russell was beyond the line of scrimmage when he released the ball. 5-yard penalty, spot foul, loss of down.
Just another call we don't see very often. Michael London was working downfield, a speedster working downfield. He was wide open. They wanted to try to get him the football. Here he is, running down there, and the defender's just starting to fall into it. So obviously, that's the reason he didn't throw it. Then he tried to throw it back on the crossing pattern there.
Hangs the punt high. Stanley with a fair catch at the 11-yard line.
Well, we start over again with a 2-minute drill. Ohio State has all 3 timeouts left. Now, right here in this field position, as this game is going right now, I think you play it a little bit on the conservative side. We have not been very good in this first half. Let's not get worse in 55 seconds.
Yeah, it almost, you can breathe a sigh of relief being down a deuce. Let's consider this for a minute. The Badgers score the touchdown to go ahead. They miss the extra point. Badgers get the ball back and can't do anything with it. I think Coach Cooper would be wise. Well, let's see. It's his call to make. Sualua, same look as when we fumbled a short time ago, but this time no fumble, and he batters for 11 yards.
He's such a strong guy. You know, he's the best blocking fullback in college football right now, I think, Brent. And I've talked to some pro scouts on campus the other day, and they say they haven't seen anyone that can block like he can block.
Dick, I want to send along best wishes to really one of the great Badger fans here in just a second. We've got a first down. If I could do this just before the half. This is Sualua. Jammed up. Makes the most of it for about 4 yards. Stops the clock at 25 seconds. But Dick, listen to this now. Here's a fella. His name is Shem Elliott. He has not missed a Badger game here in 54 years. But due to illness, 54 years. And I'm going to tell you, folks, that is
since 1940.
That's a great record, isn't it? That's amazing. Think of some of the lean years that the fellow, Mr. Elliott, has gone through. And Shem, we hope you're enjoying it. I know you are. As far as the scoreboard is concerned, we're a bit uneasy from time to time, but your Badgers are ahead, and we hope you feel a lot better. Now Hoyne drops this one off, and George again steps out of bounds to stop the clock with 20 seconds. This is not the kind of drive where you might want to be stopping the clock. You might, if you're just going to dink it off underneath.
Joe Hollis, the offensive coordinator, probably a little bit frustrated right now.
Are we going to go swimming and diving here in the well, first down on 3rd, and then I suppose call a timeout. That was Coach Hollis indicating that. But now, you know, now you've got 12 seconds, and the Badgers showing that timeout with a few seconds left. I would think they'd want to call a timeout and see if they could go block this punt. Yeah, sure. I agree with you, Barry. Let's go for it. I mean, I don't think you have a thing to lose as long as the Buckeyes didn't want to run the clock out on you. So as everybody regroups now, the Bucks might just take a short snap and run the clock out. Let's see what's coming up on ABC.
Sunday, we're making a splash with a double hug of pure fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Saget.
Catch 1 full hour of funniest videos. Then, an old beau makes a bid for Lois, but when his plan's revealed,
Patrick stole the emeralds and plans to sacrifice you.
Who's the real green-eyed monster? Lois and Clark. And they're not at home on the range.
City folk.
Billy Crystal.
I'm on vacation!
Jack Palance. City Slickers. Right after America's funniest home videos and Lois and Clark. Sunday on ABC.
Here's the play, and Bevel was called for crossing the line of scrimmage on a completed pass that really killed him. They lost a great opportunity in this situation right here. Scrambling to his right, looks downfield, just barely. You can see the marker right here.
Rule says just barely's on it.
It counts, doesn't it?
4th down, and I'm finding this kind of interesting right now because obviously the Buckeyes, with 9 seconds, they would dearly love just to end this half. And I'm still surprised if you're going to dink it and dink it and dink it when you're coming out from your own end zone, why you don't run the clock out. If you're going to go bombs away, I think that's one thing if you're trying to get points. Then obviously use the sideline. But let's see what happens here with 9 seconds to go now. Baby, he was under fire that time, and obviously the Badgers are not going to handle it now. We've got 3 ticks of the clock left.
Well, yesterday on the practice field, the Badgers went through the Geronimo type play where they put 3 receivers to one side of the field and go deep. Now, I don't know what they'll elect to do here, but they worked on that about 10 snaps yesterday.
58 yards. That's what it would take right now for the Badgers.
They're going to flop on. Just flop on, take the snap, kneel down, and go off the field.
Halftime. Wisconsin 9, Ohio State 7.
College football on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. And Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. Stay tuned for the Prudential Halftime Report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Do you know what Hitachi makes? Ready? Go. Does Hitachi make camcorders?
Yes.
Barcode readers?
Yes.
Hydroelectric power equipment?
Yes.
Clown noses?
No.
Power tools?
Yes.
TVs?
Yes.
MRI systems?
Yes.
Beanies?
No.
Oscilloscopes?
Yes.
Micromotors?
Yes.
Mass transit trains?
Yes.
Tongue depressors?
No.
PBX phone systems?
Yes.
Catnip?
No.
Semiconductors?
Yes.
Lots of products?
Lots.
Over 20,000. Yeah, but who's counting?
For centuries, they have roamed the earth, hiding in the shadows, preying on unsuspecting victims. They are legion. They are legend. And they are not always
I'm ready to get up and do my thing.
what you expect.
Interesting.
Eddie Murphy.
Kind of itches a little.
Eddie Murphy.
I'll put a hole in your afro.
Angela Bassett. And Eddie Murphy. Vampire in Brooklyn.
Never sit on my coffin, okay?
Rated R. Starts Friday, October 27th, everywhere.
Get on your Pontiac and drive, drive, drive.
Did you ever dream of driving in a Grand Prix? The sound of a 215 horsepower 24-valve engine roaring to life. The hold of the four-wheel independent suspension yearning for the next turn. The sense of control from a cockpit designed for driving. Then you know why the Pontiac Grand Prix is named Grand Prix.
We are driving excitement, Pontiac.
Saturday, will the Foxworthys go to Atlanta for an Olympic vacation?
When they let those doves go at the opening ceremony, there are going to be guys in the parking lot with shotguns.
Jeff Foxworthy. And it's a dog's life.
What kind of a daughter turns her mother's dog in?
A bad daughter, a rat-fink daughter.
I should take you in for genetic testing.
Maybe this time. Then, Home Improvement's Richard Karn, Mary Page Keller, and Grace Under Fire's Dave Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
In Picture Perfect, after Jeff Foxworthy, and maybe this time, Saturday.
At Revco, your trust has always been important to us. And just as you trust our pharmacies, you can also trust the quality of Revco brand products. Revco brands are found in every aisle of our store. Each one is top quality, as good as any national brand. Yet you'll pay only about half as much. And if you're not satisfied, we'll refund your money. With that kind of Revco quality and value, why would you go anywhere else?
Revco, a friend for life.
Here's another clever idea from Plymouth. In the new Plymouth Grand Voyager, a seat is not only a seat, it's a table and a cup holder. It can come with a drawer, and one seat can convert into 2 reclining child safety seats. Overall, the Plymouth Grand Voyager seats are the best minivan seats on wheels. In fact, they're the only minivan seats on wheels. Clever idea. Plymouth Grand Voyager. It simply slides, folds, protects, unfolds, rolls, and drives better.
You're watching the new WSYX TV, 6 on your side.
The Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. When you face the most important financial decisions of your life, turn to the Prudential. Peace of mind, it comes with every piece of the rock. From our New York studios, your host, John Saunders.
Wisconsin with the lead over Ohio State at halftime, 9-7. The Buckeyes trying to remain unbeaten and climb that ladder as they head perhaps towards the Rose Bowl. The second half is still to come, but right now, scores and highlights, beginning with the #1 team in the nation, Florida State. In the ACC, you may as well forget it. No one's come even close to stopping Florida State this year. Danny Cannell, 19 yards to E.G. Green, 34-6 at that point. Then Cannell, 8 yards to Damian Harrell, 41-6. As Florida State once again over the 70-point mark, 72-13. Danny Cannell with 5 touchdown passes. Warwick Dunn also over 100 yards rushing. The #2 team in the nation, Nebraska. Tommy Frazier does it on the ground. This time 29 yards, weaving his way to the end zone. Nebraska's in front early, 7-0. Then Tommy Frazier through the air. This one's deflected, but Brendan Holbein comes up with it, and Nebraska has a 28-0 lead. They go on to the 57-0 blowout. Tommy Frazier running for 3 touchdowns and passing for 2. Now, the story on Lawrence Phillips, their outstanding running back who has been kicked off the team, at least for the time being. He's still awaiting sentencing on the assault charges, but he has been cleared to play by the NCAA. They were investigating rules violations involving his group home, so he could be back possibly before the end of the season. Let's move along with more scores and highlights. USC facing Washington State. Kyle Wachholtz, 8 yards to Johnny McWilliams. USC taking a 17-0 lead. USC right now up 19-zip over Washington State. Wachholtz looking good early in this one. Kansas State ranked #8 and unbeaten. They had a shutout streak of 3 games going, but right now Oklahoma State has put 10 points on the board. 14-10 is the score there. Iowa State facing another unbeaten team out of Kansas, and Kansas remains that way. 6-0 for the first time since 1968. 34-7 the final there. Oklahoma and Texas, the outstanding rivalry. Punter Brian Lewis blocked by Derek Lewis, recovered by Michael Baudouin for Texas. Texas takes a 14-0 lead. Howard Schnellenberger should be concerned because the Longhorns have more. Sean Mitchell, 69 yards in this touchdown run. Texas jumps out to a 21-0 lead. James Brown has looked good. He's thrown to Pat Fitzgerald for the touchdown, 24-10. Oklahoma now has added another touchdown, 24-10, that score at halftime. Washington and Stanford in the Pac-10. This one is scoreless. It just got underway. You heard from Ty Willingham, or you will later on. 44-30 is the score. Virginia over Duke. For Virginia, victory number 150 for George Welsh. Mike Groh, a terrific day, 20 of 41, 346 yards and 4 touchdowns. SMU and Texas A&M. Texas A&M has just scored a touchdown at the end of the game. It was Corey Pullig to Albert Cannell. 19-17. They add the point after. 20-17 is the final. Texas A&M comes up with the come-from-behind victory to avoid the upset. Last year, the upset was the tie against SMU. Michigan State and the Fighting Illini of Illinois in the Big Ten. And in this one, back and forth early, Robert Holcomb, 25 yards on the touchdown run. The Illini take a 1-point lead, 14-13. But Michigan State comes back. Scott Green, 4 yards, his 3rd touchdown run of the day. The 2-point conversion was no good, but Michigan State goes on to the 27-21 win. Scott Green finished the game with 4 touchdowns. North Carolina and Georgia Tech. North Carolina on a bit of a roll after a slow start. Donnie Davis, though, 4 yards to Charles Zachary, 13-10. Carolina comes back. Leon Johnson makes it a 27-25 lead for Georgia Tech, but Mike Thomas trying to bring the Tar Heels back is intercepted by Ron Rogers after a couple of tips. And Georgia Tech holds on for the 2-point victory, 27-25. C.J. Williams, 30 carries for 108 yards and a touchdown. West Virginia and BC. West Virginia holding Boston College to just 15 yards on rushing, 31-19. West Virginia gets The upbeat right now is looking towards the Sugar Bowl. Syracuse perhaps also headed to the Sugar Bowl. Tabuki Jones had 2 touchdown runs, a 4-game winning streak for Syracuse. I mentioned the Sugar Bowl because the Big East champion will likely be headed there. Richmond, a loser to Delaware, 15-0. Both teams unbeaten coming in. Leo Hamlet, a 15-yard touchdown to Eddie Conti. Let's continue to look at some more scores as we listen to the Washington band. John Gagliardi of St. John's of Minnesota appears on his way to 324, tying Paul Bear Bryant for the 2nd all-time in coaching wins. The Wisconsin band putting on quite a show. Back with more in a moment.
Financial concerns, medical problems, anxiety about the future, the loss of a loved one, the pressures we all face, the emotions we all experience. 50 million Americans, 1 out of every 5 of us, have found they can cope better, feel more secure, actually improve their lives by turning for help to one particular company. A company whose sole purpose has always been to provide its customers with products and services that bring them to a different state of mind. Peace of mind, security, protection, preparation, optimism, peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
They're planting elm trees again because we developed one resistant to Dutch elm disease. Computer technology we created opens career paths for people with disabilities. The Indian Story Theater we established brings tribal traditions to life for thousands of school children. Oh, and we're developing early season sweet corn so you can eat it sooner. Knowledge enriching your world. The Wisconsin Idea. The University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Welcome back once again to the Prudential Halftime Report. Your second half is still to come, but right now time for more scores and highlights, including the big one in the SEC between unbeaten Florida and Auburn. 2-0, that's what Terry Bowden was against Florida coming into this game, but Riedel Anthony takes this one 90 yards on the kickoff return, and Auburn's lead is cut down to 10-7. This after they jumped out very quickly. Auburn quarterback Patrick Nix goes to work. 21 yards to Hicks poor. So it's Nix to Hicks for the touchdown. Auburn has the lead 20-14, but Danny Werfel had a terrific day. 23 yards to Ike Hilliard, 28-20. Then Danny Werfel again tosses this one to Chris Doring, who had a couple of touchdown passes caught in the game, 42-20. In fact, Doring caught 3 touchdowns. 49-38 is the score in this one. Fred Taylor, 17 carries for 111 yards. Auburn's first home loss under Terry Bowden, but Steve Spurrier happy with the outcome, but not the method.
We're not real proud of the way it happened. We had a pretty good lead, let them score right here at the end. Champions, winners don't do what we did today, but we're excited to win. A lot of players played hard, and we got a chance to have a big year if we can keep on improving.
Florida's first 6-0 start since 1969, and one big reason why Danny Werfel, 20 of 34 for 380 yards and 4 touchdowns. A great game at the Meadowlands. Notre Dame against Army. Ron Paulus, 46-yard pass to Mark Edwards here, as Notre Dame will take a 28-7 lead. It looks like this one is wrapped up early, but Army comes fighting back. Ronnie Makeda, 7-yard pass to Leon Gant. Look at the great camera work on this play. Must have been a terrific director at this game. Gets it in, 28-27. Notre Dame has the lead still, but then Ronnie Makeda throws to Ron Lashinsky. He gets stopped at the goal line, and the Fighting Irish hold on for the victory. 28-27 is the final there. Autry Denson, the freshman, filling in at running back, 23 carries, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Penn State against Purdue as we move to the Big Ten. Corey Rogers, 4 yards on this touchdown run, 23-16. And then Wally Richardson down in the game, trying to avoid a 3rd consecutive loss. 17 yards to Mike Archie. And Penn State goes on to the 26-23 victory. Bobby Engram, the story, 9 receptions, 203 yards, career highs, averaging over 22 a game, and a touchdown as well. Indiana against Iowa, and Iowa gets another victory, 22-13, as they remain a perfect 5-0 right now and go to 2-0 in the conference, undefeated in the Big Ten. Also tonight in the Big Ten, Northwestern and Minnesota. Joining me now from the Metrodome in Minneapolis is Coach Gary Barnett, the head coach of Northwestern. Welcome, Coach. And the first thing I got to say to you is when you took the job, you said, hey, we're not just going to win. We're going to go to the Rose Bowl someday. A lot of people snickered behind your back. Obviously, you knew more than they did.
Well, I think the only thing I knew is that I'd been in a program that had developed a formula and a recipe, and I was tutored under a man that I saw make it happen. And so I just knew that if you did the right things, recruited the right kids, and you'd be all right.
Gary, tell me how you have been able to do it so quickly, though. A lot of coaches have tried in your position, not just at Northwestern, but other places as well. How have you been able to succeed where others have failed?
Well, it doesn't seem that quick to me, but, you know, and please remember, it's so early. You know, we're not even halfway through this season, and so I think it's a little premature to say that this thing has been done. But I think as much as anything is that we have a particular group of kids that have great chemistry right now, and they really care for each other, and they play hard. And the other thing is that I've been able to keep the same coaches. I don't think there's any substitute for continuity in your program, and so I've had the same coaching staff now for 4 years, which usually doesn't happen in a program that is trying to be rebuilt.
Have you reminded your players that the year Wisconsin went to the Rose Bowl, they had a loss to the Minnesota team you're going to play tonight?
I don't think there's anything I haven't reminded these guys of. We work real hard at uncovering every stone and bringing all those things to mind. But when it comes down to it, it comes down to the character and the nature of your team and what kind of chemistry they have and what they buy into and what they don't. And so you make them aware, and then you hope they're intrinsically motivated to handle those situations.
All right, Gary, thank you very much, and good luck today against Minnesota, and continued success. We'll continue with more of the Prudential Halftime Report in just a moment.
Guys, rise and shine.
The way things are stacking up, this may be a good time to move, which means you need a real estate agent. An agent with a name you'll recognize. One who'll market your house at the right price. A Prudential real estate professional who won't rest until it's all put to bed. The Prudential Real Estate Affiliates. The Rock is the answer.
Hey, what's up, John?
Hey, what's up, man?
Watch the curve.
Yeah, we're driving like my grandma.
Yeah, you drink like mine.
Give me a break, man.
Watch it.
The idea is to keep the car on the road.
Yeah, how about giving me another drink?
Yeah, right. I think you got enough.
I think that's right. Give me the wheel.
Yeah, hold on, man.
I got it, man. Yo, man, just chill out, man. Yeah, man. Let me tell you about getting the back, man.
The Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. When you face the most important financial decisions of your life, turn to the Prudential. Peace of mind, it comes with every piece of the rock.
Welcome back. Your second half is straight ahead, but first a reminder, on January 1st, 1996, ABC will once again televise the Tournament of Roses Parade, and this week in celebration of kids, laughter, and dreams, the Tournament of Roses announced that Kermit the Frog will serve as Grand Marshal of the 107th Tournament of Roses Parade. Also a reminder what we have coming your way next Saturday on ABC's College Football is regional action. Penn State against Iowa, or some of you will see Nebraska against Kansas State, or other regional action next Saturday at 3:30. It's time to announce the recipients of the Burger King Scholar Athlete of the Week. Each week, Burger King will donate $25,000 to the general scholarship fund of each winner's college or university. This week's winners are in Division 1A, Scott Gallion from the University of Tennessee. Scott has a 3.31 GPA in marketing education. Division 1AA winner is Thomas Allison from Indiana State. Division 2, Derek Vandersloot from UC Davis. And Division 3, Andrew Clavenna from Trinity University. Congratulations to all these fine student athletes. Remember, stop by your local Burger King restaurant for details on the College Football Scholarship Fund.
Goodyear retailers have lowered prices on America's #1 brand.
Lower! Lower! Lower!
Everyday lows start at $19.99 and save 25% on other famous Goodyear tires. How low are the prices? Drop in and find out.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No excuses. Speed Stick's no-nonsense formula gives you 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
By Menon.
Jesse, you're next.
I'm all yours.
Save it for the stage, Romeo.
Carol always gives it to me straight. Like when she told me about my...
I told him about Head & Shoulders. Regular shampoos just rinse flakes away so they could come back. Head & Shoulders helps prevent flakes from even forming. You see the difference? You look great.
Thanks, but will it get me this part?
Couldn't hurt.
Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Hey, break a leg.
After a hard day, there's nothing like a good bedtime story. Introducing Sealy's most advanced Posturepedic ever for the back support you need. Now, the only foundation made from steel beams, not wood, is redesigned to be even stronger. Now, Sealy has a more sensitive sense and respond coil system. And its patented sensory arm senses and cushions your movement, then responds to your weight with increasing support. Correct support. No wonder we're America's bestseller. Posturepedic support, only from Sealy.
Microsoft Windows 95 presents great starts in college football. Running back Kishana Carter got Penn State rolling in the 1995 Rose Bowl against Oregon with this touchdown run on his team's first offensive play.
It goes into the books as 83 yards.
Starting with Windows 95, your computer will be able to take advantage of all that cool new stuff. But it will still be compatible with old stuff. Start growing. Start Windows 95.
Wisconsin leading Ohio State 9-7 at the half. With Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger. Jack Arutz along with us. He now has calluses on his hands, but it was very nice of him to send the milk up from down below for us.
Don't let him con you. He's got all the good Wisconsin beer.
Dick, you know, there is one point to make. The defense, especially Wisconsin's, and I take you back now to the Penn State game against Wisconsin. That game, remember, was scoreless at the end of the half as far as the Nittany Lions were concerned. The Badgers, they're a team that can kind of make you look bad, and they did that, I think, to the Buckeyes a little bit here in the first half. And then, of course, they were able to pull it out. Darrell Bevel, this is a touchdown pass, and it was a 17-9 win. And then Ohio State followed the Badgers in, and back-to-back victories at Happy Valley. But now, here this afternoon, we've had a couple of touchdowns. This for the Bucks.
Well, this is typical. When you're this close, you give the ball to one of the best ball carriers in the country. Right up off tackle play, bangs it in for the touchdown. Eddie George gets her done again, but he only has 33 yards in 10 carries in this first half.
And then the other touchdown, this one for Wisconsin.
Gets the ball out to the fullback, out of the backfield. Cecil Martin settles down right in between three defenders. Didn't need much room to get it in there.
How about Glenn's first half? Has he done much?
Not much. 2 receptions, 21 yards. Credit the defense.
There are the numbers.
As you can see, Ohio State total offense a little bit more. What's killing them, though, is the -2 in the turnovers.
Ohio State kicking off into the end zone, come out of the 20. Jack, what did the coaches have to say here?
Very interesting on the coaches. First, let's talk about Ohio State. All John Cooper preached about in the locker room was the turnovers. He said, we're not going to make any changes. We're just going to try and play a little better football. For Barry Alvarez and the Badgers, they had one major decision to make, and that was on the toss of the coin. The wind is really kicked up here, and I asked Barry, were you going to take the possession of the ball or take the wind in the fourth quarter? He says, hey, against Ohio State, you got to take the ball.
So they're coming out now with the ball, Jack, and you can see the gusting wind that has, of course, really turns this game completely around when the teams shift sides here. And now Bevel and the Badgers will line up with McCullough at that running back spot. Martin, who scored the touchdown. And the Badgers go right back to what they think they can do best of all, and that's bang straight ahead. Our offensive leaders from the first half of the game. Coach looked like this.
Well, Wisconsin has not run the ball well. You look at this: 11 carries, 25 yards, 1 carry, 4 yards. You know, that's their style of football is to run the ball, Brent, and they have not been able to do it. Plus, Bevel has been way off percentage-wise throwing the football. 8 for 18, not his game.
Second down. Flair, McCullough, Howard comes up and crushes him at the 21, and he was able to stay on his feet and gain another yard, but that's about a 6-inch gain on that play. Good stop by Howard.
Boy, that was a way for a corner to close on a receiver with a lot of room, come up there, and he didn't allow McCullough to get his feet under him, gain balance, and run upfield. He just attacked him. That was an awfully nice job by Ty Howard. You can hear this one.
Third and 7, Dick, as a result of that now for the Badgers. They have not gotten Nyquist into the offense. They've got him lined up on the left wing. Simmons is slotted as Bevel changes the play after he comes up at the line. The Bucks now show some pressure. Belisari backs out. So does Johnson. It's a 4-man rush. And they drop it to McCullough, who squirts for the first down to the 36-yard line.
He really wanted to throw the slot corner pattern. The coverage did a beautiful job of taking it away, so he just dropped it off to the check down man. This is all in game plan preparation. Very nice job. Belisari, number 30, he's sort of sniffing the play out there, trying to figure out what they're going to do, playing the zone. Now he recognizes it, bang, comes up and makes the play.
The ball put down just outside the 35-yard line. Middle, and he made the most out of that play, folks. He squeezed it for 4 yards. There wasn't much there, and he patiently stepped into a hole.
Matt Bonhouse, number 70 defensive tackle, and Luke Fickle, 99, are really playing well in there, Brent, and they're not getting any movement between the offensive 2 guards and the center. They're not knocking those tackles back off, and that's what's making it tough for them to run the football up inside. See Bonhouse right there in the middle of your screen. Academic all Big Ten student, outstanding student.
4 down linemen now for the Bucks. Bevel steps away, picked off by the Bucks. Down to the 5-yard line is Miller with a slick interception, and the Bucks are in business.
They tried to fool him, Brent. Tried to fool him with a naked bootleg, and the defensive end saw it all the way, got in his face. He's upset with that. Coming out now, the man right in his face. He tries to throw it anyway. That's Matt Finkus, number 92, getting right into him. Here it is. Now Ryan Miller, 43, reaches up there and takes it away. Now he's going back to his high school days when he was a running back. Look at him. Says, I remember when I used to carry the ball.
First and goal for Ohio State. George. No alley. It'll be second and goal now from the 4-yard line.
Pete Monty, number 48, the inside linebacker, did a nice job on that. You know, Brent, 2 weeks ago, he had his knee scoped arthroscopically and didn't practice for a while. Here he is right here in the middle of your screen, number 48, moving inside out, keeping his body behind the ball carrier, so when he turns up, he's right there. Nice job, Pete. Can you imagine that 2 weeks ago?
That is hard to believe.
Yeah, here he is playing.
Sualua in front of George. George again to the 2. It'll be third and goal, and the Badgers putting on a bit of a goal line stand here, but the big one's coming up. It'll be third and goal. Unverzat, the linebacker, 47, with a tough play that time.
These linebackers attack the ball carriers. They do not sit there as the hole opens. They don't sit and wait for them. They attack the play. Therefore, not much room for George to bounce one way or the other.
Coin rolls. Touchdown to Glenn.
Touchdown pass.
The Buckeyes jump ahead as Hoyne hits Terry Glenn on a 3rd and goal situation.
They'll probably go for 2 here, up by 4 points. Just a little rollout. Get away from inside pressure in the goal line area. Sprints out there. He was in the slot pattern. He just works out there in between the zone coverage. Look at no one outside him. Must have been man coverage to be that clean. Beat one guy, and he was all alone. They're going to go for 2.
The Bucks must make 3 yards in this situation to put themselves up by 6. It is 13-9 right now. Suttle lined up against Glenn again. And Hoyne incomplete. He threw behind Glenn. His vision must have been thrown off a bit because he had daylight there, and Coach Cooper knows it. It's a 4-point game.
Baker comes up with incredible new pretzel. Doesn't have any customers. Doesn't know how to reach them. Here's that post office has some very smart solutions. Calls for business kit. Baker finds ad mail can target pretzel lovers. Doesn't cost much. Gets his message across. Baker gets orders. Sends them parcel post. Customers are impressed. Baker gets more orders. Pretzels are a hit. Baker makes millions. Now he's the one getting baked. For information, call 1-800-USPS.
For years, people have done their thinking on the run. Now, they can do their business on the run, thanks to the breakthrough that fits in your pocket. Zorus, the personal digital assistant from Sharp that gives you the freedom to write it, type it, sign it, and fax it anytime, anywhere.
John, hello, mate. Just got your fax. But you really should get out of the office a bit more.
Chili Palmer is new to Hollywood.
I got an idea for a movie.
So is Bo Catlett.
I've seen better film on teeth.
You must bring something heavy to the deal.
I do. Me.
But unfortunately, the town isn't big enough.
I'd like you to meet my associate, Bear.
For both of them.
That's not bad for a guy his size.
Man, I can't wait for you to be dead. Get Shorty.
I love it out here.
Rated R. Starts this Friday at theaters everywhere.
American Shannon Miller goes for an unprecedented 3rd straight all-around title at the World Gymnastics Championships. Sunday on a special edition of ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Ohio State back into the lead, 13-9 over Wisconsin. Here in the 3rd quarter in Madison on an overcast, chilly day with the wind whipping through the state of Wisconsin. And the turnover, the interception by Miller, results in a 6-point play for the Buckeyes. Jackson to kick it off now, and Stecker, the freshman, hoping to give the Badgers some field position in this situation. It has been a game plagued by mistakes. The most recent, the interception, and that set up the Buckeyes' go-ahead touchdown. This kickoff fielded at the 6-yard line, and Stecker gets a block from Martin, busts up the middle, and Stecker to the 34-yard line. Now let's go back and watch Glenn's touchdown again.
Well, you'll see Terry Glenn right here in the slot formation being covered here by a linebacker. That's Daryl Carter, and Brent, that's why I thought it was a zone, but they have the linebacker on the slot, Terry Glenn, man-to-man on the goal line. That really confuses me.
That's his 10th touchdown of the season for the Buckeyes, and there's a little homage to the main man. Number 83, Terry the Terrific. So now Darrell Bevel will attempt to ignite a fire here. And to Martin, and they weren't expecting the fullback in this situation. Martin is rumbling. Out of bounds at the Bucks' 41-yard line. Good play call. That one really caught him unaware.
That was an excellent play call because they ran opposite the key. They normally run toward the fullback as a blocker. This time they give him the ball. Now you'll notice that all defensive linemen are slanting in the direction they normally run with a tailback. Instead, they slip it to the fullback. Good call, good game plan thought. It paid off on that one.
I would tell you, that move might have shown us. I want to go back on that in a second. Here's McCullough to the 38-yard line on first down. The young man who was faked out on that run is Springs, which might indicate, now watch here, it might indicate that that ankle is far from being perfect. Unable to recover on this move by Martin, and ordinarily Springs does not go down like that. And it is now 2nd down and 8 after that first down run, and the Badgers showing a little life here in the 3rd quarter if they can keep it going without a mistake. Here's the long handoff. McCullough stretches now. Stretches. Got a hole. McCullough explodes. And he was almost free. He is to the 14-yard line. Moore with a touchdown-saving tackle for the Bucks.
See, they went to a spread formation, 3 receivers. That opened the defense. They didn't have to get around them. They ran up underneath the defensive end to the right side of your screen. See the big hole open. They stretched him outside there. Inside Finkus got a good block on Varselli. Gets a block downfield. Here he goes. Now Damon Moore, number 13, makes the life-saving tackle. You're talking about here. Now here's a good stretch block here. Here's a good stretch block there. He's going to hit that hole. Now he cuts right back up inside, gets another block downfield.
All right, on the snap now. Here's McCullough. McCullough veers to the right side. McCullough, touchdown, Badgers.
They ran a counter play out of the 3 receiver set. Obviously not anticipating this. Guards do a good job coming around. Get the block downfield and gave them just enough room to get it in the end zone.
This time the extra point is good. The Badgers jump right back on John Cooper's unbeaten Buckeyes. A 3-point lead. Now we're playing football.
This is a document in the digital office where you capture ideas and share them effortlessly. Whether they're on paper or on your screen, this is the space where Xerox works, giving you a simpler way to do good work.
Oh, I can't believe you're back so soon. Tell me about it. Knee surgery is not my idea of fun. You in pain? Not now. My doctor gave me Tylenol, extra strength. Boy, Tylenol works on that kind of pain? Here I am.
More than aspirin, more than ibuprofen. From post-surgical pain to headaches, doctors recommend Tylenol the most.
Good run, huh? Yeah, not bad. It's not over. Oh, man. Come on.
You're my agent. You have to do something about this. My face is on the cup with a duck. Well, I'm allergic to ducks. Well, what about Bugs Bunny? He's cool. What? Emmitt Smith has bugs? He's just a running back.
Now at McDonald's, get a free Looney Plays to-go cup when you supersize any extra value meal. The NFL's Emmitt Smith with Bugs, Barry Sanders with Taz, Bledsoe with Wiley, and Marino with Daffy on new to-go cups.
How'd I get on a McDonald's cup with Marino? Some agent. I'm allergic to dolphins.
Have you had your break today?
Wisconsin 16, Ohio State 13, 9:27 in the 3rd quarter, and suddenly we're getting some flavor into this game. Now it's the Buckeyes turn it back.
Well, Brad Childress, the offensive coordinator, did a good job that time of recognizing he wasn't going to be able to pound in there with the 2 backs in the backfield and a tight end or 2 tight ends, so he opens it up with 3 wide receivers, spreads him, get him thinking pass rush, and starts running up inside him.
Well, who do you want to return if you're Hall and the Badgers? You want Stanley, who's number 3? Or do you want Glenn, who's 83? Tough choice to make back there. They'll opt for Stanley. Coming out for the 9-yard line. To the 25-yard line. Hoying and the Buckeyes put it in play.
Going back to look at that touchdown play, you'll see when you spread them out and get the defensive ends thinking about coming upfield. Here's Vrabel going to come up outside now. They're pulling the guard here to trap him. He doesn't have to trap him. He takes himself out of the play, getting deep into the backfield. Good call, good defensive, good offensive maneuvering of people in position to block people downfield. Look at these eyes. He knew where he was going to go. He's going to the end zone. See, he looked left, he looked right. Now he looks at the end zone. Here's where I'm going.
Once again, as in each of the last 2 weeks, the Bucs are going to have to deal from behind here in the second half. George to the 31-yard line. If they are one of the top teams in the country, they're going to have to prove it again in hostile territory.
And sometimes when you force a team like Ohio State to go back to basics and just take people on physically like they're capable of doing, they do it better. And they get better as the game rolls on. And I think that's why they're able to come from behind. That whenever it comes to crunch time, they start giving the ball to Eddie George.
Or Glenn, who's out to the left. Tillman's to the right. And here it is, Dick. It is George. And the Badgers were ready for him, but he still battled his way for a couple of yards before Carter could bring him down.
That's that split back formation that they added to the offense this year. Last year, they only used it a little bit. Actually, coming into this ball game, it was their #1 formation rather than the I. Sualua going out. They mustn't going to be use him as a blocker because he's the best blocker. Don't take him out on a running down.
Unusual on 3rd and 2.
Well, they'll go at H-back and put him in motion sometime and block with him.
And it's Hauser who is the blocker. But they are, you're right, tipped pass. Got the complete. It's Tillman. And Tillman made the grab for the first down at the 45-yard line.
Nowadays, as we watch games from week to week, you see that 3rd and 2 is no longer treated like they used to treat in college football, the 3rd and 2 situation. People used to think they could run for 3rd and 2. Nowadays, you see them throwing the ball as much, if not more, on 3rd and 2 than running.
Badger defense with its hands full. Suttle gets back in his cornerback position now. They have bracketed Glenn on this side. Hoying checks quickly, comes back to that side, high and incomplete. Suttle was there, and there was also underneath help.
You know, Bobby Hoying threw a lot of balls high last week in the ball game that they won at Penn State, but the gifted Terry Glenn got up and caught it anyway. That one was just too high.
So Suttle, as you pointed out, has been improving on the corners. So far, he has been holding up. Weems with a big fumble recovery, the other cornerback.
They've done a good job of mixing the kind of coverage they're using on Terry Glenn. See, now they're both up there tight on him. Now they back out.
They pull him out now. Tillman's on to the left. They run Sualua on the draw, picks his way. Nothing doing, and Carter was all over him. He still battled free. He couldn't bring him down either. Sualua, a battler, but not much of a gain that time, and it's going to be 3rd and long now for the Bucs.
And he is not really the gifted, nifty type guy at running. He's a power runner. If there's a hole there, yes. But if there isn't any hole, he's not going to just bounce all around. See, he's not the real quick guy at 265 pounds.
Dick, ordinarily, you would think that the Bucs might look for their tight end. But Dudley has been pounded pretty good here.
They don't like to let him off the line of scrimmage cleanly. They said they were not going to do that.
He's been on the right. Carter has got him. They do let him off cleanly this time, but he wasn't open. Incomplete. They wanted Glenn, and Suttle is doing an outstanding job. Just outstanding at this cornerback.
Had him covered all the way. To loosen that up, they're going to have to take Terry Glenn in those situations and send him downfield deep, because there's no way a one-on-one coverage guy should be able to cover Glenn like this. See, he's going to run the out pattern. He breaks to the outside, and Suttle gets a beautiful jump on the ball. With no help behind, he's really taking a chance on him going deep.
I was about to say, that showed you something on that play. You'd love a little fake there and then
go, yeah.
Oh,
got to do it.
Oh, it's got to be there, doesn't it, Coach?
You believe
the way Suttle bites on that move. Little pump fake, huh, kid?
You bet.
Send it in, send it in. Coach, you're the coach. Oh, Bartholomew. Come on. Out of bounds. at the 46-yard line. Now, if he's a real smart punter, he'll stay away from Cooper. Don't get close. Don't look for... Hey, Bray, come over here. Come here. Come back here. Hey, yo, 41. Come to me, baby. We'll be right back.
Are persistent.
Well, they're no match for the world's first sport utility wagon.
Oh, really?
All-wheel drive Subaru Outback's got more headroom than a Cherokee.
Uh-huh.
Ground clearance of an Explorer.
So you say.
Ride smooth as any car.
Got any more of those tidbits?
What, like more stability in a turn than a Chevy Blazer?
Sure, that'll do.
That's my Subaru Outback. World's first sport utility wagon.
College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by MGM's new comedy, Get Shorty, and the 1996 Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon. The movie, Get Shorty, that's an Elmore Leonard novel. It was a good one. He's a tough crime writer out of the city of Detroit, and I hear good things about John Travolta. Dick, we get a chance? Oh, by the way, what was the distance on that punt for Bartholomew?
8 yards. Here he is, a true freshman, and he's very disappointed. Coaches were talking about how much he's come along in the last couple weeks. That one didn't help him any.
Now first down for Bevel. This is McCullough, who's running beautifully right now. McCullough to the 47-yard line. So here in the second half, a little change with the blocking pattern on the part of the Badgers, and that has started to open up some holes, Coach.
Yes, they're using the offensive guards to kick out those wide defensive ends. Jamie Vanderbilt, 65, pulled nicely on that one and kicked out the defensive end, and they ran right up underneath him.
Second down now. Bevel and to McCullough. And McCullough battles for the first down. There'll be a measurement there, but Roger Twyble working a little double duty for us today. He has come to the studio from the Meadowlands. We covered that thrilling Army Notre Dame game. Roger, what do you got on Oklahoma?
Well, Brent, thank you very much. John Saunders under the weather. He played hurt, but I'm in here right now. And Oklahoma's Eric Moore, an 8-yard touchdown pass to P.J. Mills. And that'll pull the Sooners to within 7, 24-17 in the third quarter. And Kansas State came into the game today against Oklahoma State with 3 consecutive shutouts. They're hanging on. They lead by 4, 21-17. Let's go back to Brent.
All right, Roger, that Kansas State story is absolutely amazing, isn't it? Of course, Roger hangs his hat out there in Kansas City, so he knows all about the excitement being generated out there. It was a first down for the Badgers, and Coach, they're on the move again. I'm really impressed by McCullough when he gets daylight.
Adjustments at halftime. A little different style of blocking. He goes from almost nothing in the first half to now he's really moving the ball.
Now, Ohio State needs to be somewhat concerned because Notre Dame and Penn State move the ball occasionally on the ground. And this time, Stecker able to break the defensive containment, and he battles for 7 yards.
Stecker demonstrating he has real good speed. Good defensive end play coming inside out on him, but Stecker has that little burst.
I think there was a penalty flag on the sideline, too, that Tom Pruitt's got here, sorting it out with this crew. Mistake.
Had to be on a wide receiver, and this is the least penalized team in the Big Ten, coming in averaging just a little over 3 penalties. And Cooper's team, as you see on the screen, had only been averaging 4 penalties a game. Neither team played real sharp football in that first half. Barry's got a bruise on his nose. He took somebody on at halftime. He got in there and shook him up. You're going to butt heads with him, huh?
He showed that offensive line how to do it. He got the chair down in the middle of the floor and said, this is how we're going to do it. Look at this. Got to be careful with that chalk down there, those blackboards. Now it's first down. And it'll be 13 yards to go here, Coach.
Well, they've been an 80% running team on first down, and they were really going to come in and try to change that today. But what they do best is run the football.
Miller backs out for the Bucks. It's a 4-man rush, play fake, and Bevel fires, and he's got it complete just inside the 30-yard line. So he comes right back with a pass, and he hits Simmons.
Tony Simmons, you've got to respect his speed, Brent. He's extremely fast. He's run in the track meet and the Big 10 meets and that stuff, and finished in the different, like in the 100 meters and that. He's got that kind of speed. They use the play action. It gives him a little time. The rushers are acknowledging run. He throws it right in between a defender and behind one and in front of the other. Nice throw.
Now Springs comes over on Torian, who's got that speed on the boundary side of the field. And they come back with Stecker. He is jammed up, won't go down. Now he is down. Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, you've been talking about Sean Springs and his injured ankle. You know, they're doing a lot of man-to-man with him now because they want to test that ankle. And as I've been watching him throughout the course of the game, it's gotten stiffer and stiffer. Now, he is wearing a brace, an air cast down here on his ankle. But if you watch him in isolation, you'll see him, especially a man-on-man, he's got a hitch to his step. He is definitely favoring it, more so in the second half than in the first half.
That could become a factor, Jack, because obviously the assistant coaches up here have picked it up. Simmons is now over on him. Second down for the Badgers. Bevel under pressure, and he got out with Finkus coming one way, and Finkus climbed all over him on the sack.
That's the same defense they used earlier and brought the middle linebacker. This time they didn't do that. They covered the 3 people inside, and they just used Finkus 92 on right there in the middle of your screen. Takes off. See, he's actually a mistake. That's a mistake. Jamie Vanderbilt, 65, the offensive guard, turned down to seal the inside gap. He should have not done that. He should have blocked the big people on his outside shoulder.
After the sack, it is going to be 3rd and 19. So just when the defense needed to stand up, they have so far. But remember, moments ago, the Badgers pulled a 20-yarder out of their hat. So here they go again. 3 wide receivers to the boundary side. Bevel is going to look in that direction. Bevel will have to drop it off now. His wide receivers were covered, so he will settle for a shorter gain and no first down. And let's see if this got them into field goal range or not.
He had 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Goes down there, the coverage takes away where he wants to throw the football. See, they're playing him underneath. Hold it right there. Freeze it. You'll see covered, and he's going down here. No place for him to throw the football, so he lays the ball off. This gives the time for the defense to rally and make the play.
And now the field goal unit trots on to the field.
And he made a 54-yarder on the practice field on Thursday, Brent. He just really nailed it.
This would be a 46-yarder.
It was a low kick and tipped.
Buckeyes ball. It's live back there, young man. Makes a turn now on the right side, and he is down at the 22-yard line with Bevel putting him down. And John said, boy, we're lucky to bail that one out back there.
That was a low kick rather than a block kick. A gopher might have been able to get that one. See, this kicker has yet to gain the confidence at this level of really kicking balls. See, and that's low, and it got tipped, and it gets knocked up in the air to make it look higher.
He wants a foul? Sure. Now, the Buckeyes have the ball, and they trail it by 3, 16-13. 2.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. This high-powered Buckeye attack has been shackled pretty much. Play fake Hoyne. Hoyne in trouble. Penalty flag is now thrown on the play. Came from the referee. Sualua was into Donnybrook. with one of the rushmen that time, and that was Sala trying to get in on him, and Quinn will tell you about the foul. Holding call, and he'll take it back. Roger, what about Oklahoma? How they doing in that game, partner?
Well, Brent, Oklahoma trailed 21-0 against Texas, but in the third quarter, 1st and 10, 22-yard line. Look at the speed. Gerald Moore, 22 yards for the touchdown, and that game's all tied up at 24 apiece. Brent.
Yeah, Roger, that's a good one down there with that speed that Howard Schnellenberger has with that Sooner team, able to come back on the Longhorns. And, of course, that's something that his predecessor, Coach Gibbs, was unable to do, was beat Texas. And now the penalty is going to bring it on back against the Buckeyes inside the 10-yard line.
1st and 20. The big thing is it's just really, I think initially you treat it like a 1st and 10 situation, Brent. You just don't try to get it to go get it all back in 1 or 2 plays.
They must get out to the 32-yard line for a 1st down. So a long way to go here, isn't it? With the split backs, Coyne, and he has Tillman. Tillman swings free out to the 28-yard line. Huntley comes over after Weems fanned on him.
They're still playing a lot of one-on-one coverage, though they didn't anticipate him dropping back and throw the out pattern in that situation. Probably anticipating run. Called a defense that would put the people in better run support positions. Corners out there isolated. Might be good to audible when you see that one-on-one coverage on the flanker and the split end and go deep on these guys because the corners are covering pretty tight.
Well, that's a great run that time, and it put him back in 2nd and 4, left him in business. And the option look. Coyne is crushed short of the 30. Not much doing. What about that play call?
No, well, you know, I'm not in favor of running a quarterback like Coyne on the option. But the reason they run the options is really to help control defensive play, to make them worry about it, and make the linebackers also be tied down to. They may run an option, and I have this responsibility. But I would rather give the ball, if you're going to run it, to Eddie George right off the bat.
That's just one less play that a great running back's not going to handle it. You can look at it that way. 3rd down now for the Bucks. Tillman to the right. Glenn is off to the left. Suttle has gone off in that direction. He's doing a job. They come back to the middle, and this is Tillman. Tillman has now picked up the slack. This is what has to happen with the team. A 1st down for the Buckeyes. With Dick Vermeil and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. Welcome to Camp Randall, where the Wisconsin Badgers are beating the Ohio State Buckeyes 16-13. We have 48 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And Dick, the point is, when your great wide receiver is having a tough day, someone else has got to step up.
And they started right off the bat with him. Look at 6 receptions, 91 yards, and he'd only come in here with 9 receptions after 5 games, Brent.
So now, off to the left side is Glenn. Coyne looks that way. Glenn's got it, slips a tackle. Glenn is loose. Glenn now to the 22-yard line.
Bobby has thrown 2 complete passes in a row and been knocked down on both of them. They better protect him a little better than that, but they got the ball in the right guy's hands, because if you don't make the tackle the minute he catches the football, top of your screen, Terry Glenn takes the out move, they're back off him a long ways. Now he whirls back to the inside, and when he's on the loose, he's on the loose. He can run the distance. Fastest man on the Buckeyes football team.
Over on the sideline now. Demetrius Stanley has checked in. George steps over a would-be tackler, but cannot get over Flanagan at the 25-yard line. And it's going to be a loss of a pair, as again the Badgers are doing an excellent job against Heisman Trophy candidate Eddie George. We have 1 quarter of play to go. The unbeaten Ohio State Buckeyes trail Wisconsin by 3. Back with more after these messages from our ABC station.
There are lots of reasons to buy life insurance. Here are 2 great ones. I'm State Farm agent Mike Foley. As the Goff family has grown, so have their life insurance needs. That's why we get together for family insurance checkups. I make sure to explain all the options, and they decide on the plan that's right for them. Ask your State Farm agent for a family insurance checkup. It's a great way to learn about life.
What's amazing about technology?
I think you could run to the store for me.
At GTE, we think it's how it can make your life easier. Like Telego service.
Ice cream?
The world's first cordless phone you can take just about anywhere.
Your pocket's ringing.
Even an all-night grocery store in Tampa, which David King finds pretty amazing.
Do you have any sauerkraut?
Why? Because he won't have to make another trip to the store tonight. Amazing.
2 new Beatles songs, the most anticipated event in 30 years, an event no one thought would ever happen. The Beatles Anthology, November 19th.
Roses used to be Gloria's favorite gift. Before she was diagnosed with breast cancer, it almost went undetected until she saw a specialist at the James, who performed a lumpectomy with radiation therapy. While at the James, Gloria learned not only that she would live, but also a lot about love. She's still fond of roses, but the gift she most appreciates will last forever.
The James, as long as cancer is part of life, make sure we're part of your health plan.
For the winning tradition, there's only one team in town, your Central Ohio Ford dealers.
Right now is the season to see the all-new 96 models and get a winning deal on a new Ford. Get $500 cash back when you lease a smooth-running and popular Ford Windstar. Starting around $15,000, a loaded Ford Contour is bound to be a game-winning MVP.
Get the job done right. See your Central Ohio Ford dealer and prepare to be impressed.
Watch 6 on Your Sideline live Monday at 8.
Tomorrow night on ABC, an hour of America's Funniest Home Videos, followed by a brand new episode of Lois and Clark. Then Billy Crystal is not at home on the range. Oscar winner Jack Palance co-stars in City Slickers on the Sunday night movie all tomorrow right here on ABC. Then next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central on ABC's college football, Penn State faces Iowa, Kansas State against Nebraska, Georgia Tech, Florida State. Georgia Tech, Florida State. How do the Seminoles look now that they have been sitting in that #1 spot? Then at night, the World Series will start right here next Saturday on ABC. Right now, we start the final 15 minutes. 2nd down and 13. Buckeyes trail it by a field goal on the drive as they start the final quarter at the Badgers' 25-yard line. Coyne, receivers are covered. Bobby takes off, tripped up, makes it to the 21-yard line. There we can see the statistics and the total yardage because of the 3rd quarter starting to tighten up just a little bit there, Coach.
No question. What's really glaring is how much better the Wisconsin has been running the ball there in the 3rd quarter compared to the 1st half. That's what's really glaring.
So it is 3rd and 8, and here come the Bucks. Glenn is at the left. Suttle's got him. Tillman goes to the boundary side. Dudley, the tight end, has been bottled up pretty much so far tonight. Owen checks him, covered, goes downfield, incomplete, had Tillman in the hole. Had Tillman sitting at the 11-yard line and couldn't bury it with him.
Had Tillman in the hole, had time to throw it accurately. He rushed to throw. I think he located him a little bit late, but then rushed it because they only rushed 3 people. He had a nice cushion up inside to step up, good throwing lane. He just didn't get his concentration on the receiver, and he's upset with himself.
Big field goal here for the Bucks. With 14:11 to go, this would boost them into a tie.
He's 5 for 5 kicking field goals this year. He hasn't had many opportunities because all they've done is score touchdowns.
37-yarder on its way. No, just short. Badgers still lead.
Here comes the ball. He's only had 5 opportunities. He's made them all. Maybe he's just a little bit rusty.
We'll be coming right back.
When I am alone in the half-light of the canyon, all existence fades to a being with my soul and memories. And the sounds of the Big Blackfoot River and the hope that a fish will rise.
If you're wondering what's cooking at Chili's, well, we're cooking up a table of fun. We've got a menu that'll bring you to Chili's, a little something for everyone. We've got it flamed, grilled, barbecue, so make it a date. And if you're sweet tooth sleeping, we can shake it awake. Let your appetite bring you to Chili's, 'cause we're cooking up a table of fun.
Chili's, like no place else.
Attention theater buffs. Hitachi Ultravision asked the question, to be real or not to be? Bet you always thought Hamlet asked that. Hello, movie mavens. With its ultra clear, ultra bright, ultra sharp picture, Hitachi Ultravision asks, who's real? To anyone who's ever guessed whodunit. I just love surprise endings. Don't you? Ultravision home theater. TVs, VCRs, camcorders. Only from Hitachi.
Penn State battles Big Ten rival Iowa. Kansas State takes on Big 8 power Nebraska. Or other conference games and regional action. Next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
It has been a tough afternoon so far for some Ohio State stars.
But wouldn't you feel pretty good if you were the offensive coordinator of Ohio State and you had two guys like this, George and Mr. Terrific here, number 83 to go Terry Glenn? You'd still have some confidence left, wouldn't you?
I think I'd still be giving it to him, Coach.
Yeah, me
okay.
too. I'd try to
just
get...
saying, defense, give me that ball back.
Yeah.
We're coming again. Now it's Bevel and the Badgers. They will try to eat a huge chunk of time off this clock and scores a result. And McCullough picks his way beautifully to the 25-yard line.
Jamie Vanderbilt, the offensive left guard, number 65, has really stepped it up in this third and fourth quarter. They're asking him to do more, but he's pulling nicely, and every time he pulls, Brent, he gets a knockdown block. Good job, Jamie.
Also, number 64, Darby, who replaced the injured Steve Stark, who's out for the season, has been holding his own there in the middle. So it's Vanderbilt, Gay's the center, and Darby's the other guard. These three men have been opening some holes in the middle. Guards pulling. McCullough bounces off one of his own players. Bull is loose, but it was down at the 26-yard line. This is going to leave them with about a 3rd and 5.
Number 24, Spring.
Kevin Johnson, outside linebacker. You know, he is a guy that doesn't get talked about as much as those 4 down linemen do. But, you know, like that time, I mean, he can scrape off and fill in quickly and shut out a run that actually looked like it was going to be a pretty good play. And here they come.
Bad call.
Yeah, the ball was out.
All right. However, Wisconsin did pop on that ball. Okay, even though it was not ruled a fumble and it was put back at the spot. Now we've got a holding call. Bevel into London's hands, which would have been enough for a first down, but I'm sure, well, I'm not so sure. There was a penalty flag back there. Let's let Quinn sort it out. Judging from Alvarez's reaction, it is clearly a holding call that they've got. And it's against Wisconsin.
Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, came with that same defense that in the first half they covered the guards and center.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Spot foul. Repeat 3rd down.
They covered the 3 people inside and brought the inside linebacker, and he sacked the quarterback. Second half, they try the same blitz. The offensive linemen pick it up. Good job of adjustment at a halftime.
3rd down and 19 yards to go after the penalty. The ball is brought back to the Badgers' 11-yard line. Vrabel trying to hand fight his way in, and he was getting close on the release.
He felt the pressure. You know, he had the time. He wanted to go downfield. He just waited too long to let it go. First off, he knew he had 3rd and real long yardage to go, Brent, and that's why he waited so long to lay it off late.
And another penalty flag has been thrown.
Holding on the offense. Decline. Fourth down.
Over on that left side, they're having a lot of trouble with Prevailed coming from the right defensive end. He was trying to get to the quarterback. And the penalty is thrown for holding back there. And now a hugely important punt in this game.
They're going to have very good field position on the possession.
And they almost got a piece of it. Stanley bobbles, picks it up now. Crosses midfield, and Stanley is to the 46-yard line.
That ball should have been blocked. I think the guy got in there so clean and so quickly, he didn't recognize what he ought to do. Go block it.
Recently, the Broncos and 49ers showcased their talents in Tokyo.
Love is a many splendored thing.
At Zone West Karaoke,
Your man. Blame it on the bossa nova. The dance of love.
where the players brought no ability to carry a tune, but did bring their Visa card.
Was it the moon?
Because Zone West can accept just about anything except American Express.
Everybody sing. It's the April rose that only...
Making ideas a reality. It's how you ended up with your own business in the first place. And it's why Hewlett-Packard has introduced the fast, reliable, affordable HP LaserJet 5L and the colorful HP DeskJet 850 series with a real-life imaging system. Dependable, professional Hewlett-Packard printers. Printers that work almost as hard as you do. HP printers. Just what you had in mind.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. Like a rock.
Close, Dick. Real
I know
close.
Alexander, the punter, did a good job of getting this one off, because from the right side of your screen, you'll see number 82. That's Alonzo Shavers come in there, and he turns his body rather than going for the block point, and he doesn't make the block.
But the Buckeyes with outstanding field position. Across midfield now. Reverse. And Glenn is hit at the 44-yard line.
Number 83,
Spiller
Kerry Glenn
and
on the reverse.
Unverzad pick up the wide receiver as he comes around.
Nothing like being an experienced linebacker. Unverzad smelled that all the way.
Second down.
They got outside the defensive ends containment, and he just sat there and waited for the play to develop and went up and made it. Nice job.
This is the 5th largest crowd in Wisconsin Badger history. What a turnaround under Barry Alvarez. For 21 years, from 1960 through 1980, Wisconsin could not beat Ohio State. That's right, the Buckeyes beat them 21 straight times. The late Coach McLean turned things around in the 80s, and now Alvarez has picked up that legacy after some very lean years here. Sualua has got the pass. And the big fella is rumble to the 35-yard line.
The big thing about throwing to a ball to a guy that size, you better hit him square, because at 260 pounds, the average defensive back doesn't normally tackle a receiver that size, and you really better nail him.
Tillman and Glenn are the Buckeyes wide receivers. Play is coming in from the sideline. The Badgers up by 3 here. 11:17 to go in the 4th quarter. Suttle is now locked up on Tillman as Glenn is in the slot. And here's George. Middle's open. George powers into the red zone as the Red Sea parted.
The Red Sea parted. The red jerseys parted, I'll tell you that. They went right at him, right behind the big people, right behind Pace and Jamie Sumner and Juan Porter. Reverse pivot, got it back to him deep, got the kick out block right there. Look at that hole. There it is. That's the way the Buckeyes play football.
Tough day for George. That's 17 yards, but he's 16 for 58 and a touchdown. Glenn coming in motion. That basically slots him. George again, cut back. Slams inside the 15-yard line now. Badgers will be looking for a turnover down here.
So, you know, when you're a big, strong offensive line and you have a good running back and a fullback that can block as well or better than anybody in the country, you have a lot to lean on in this kind of a pressure situation. Because he can block. This is the second blocker. This Calhoun, he can block as well, number 39. He'll kick the linebacker right there. Nice block on that linebacker.
Second down and 4. George, cut back. George, first and goal. Buckeyes.
That time, the defensive line ran a stunt trying to get into the backfield. Jamie Sumner did a good job of picking up that inside gap and allowed that hole to open. Here he is. He's good concentration. Good concentration. He knows where he's going to go. He knows he's going to get some help right there. He just keeps running straight where his eyes were looking originally, right upfield.
Now Orlando Pace shaken up. Comes over to that sideline, Dick, and
no one's going to help carry him off, I'll tell you that. Got a pickup truck.
Today's attendance.
Now, I'll tell you, the one fellow they got to get back in the lineup without Pace is Sualua. Well, they've got to get him through that hole now if they don't have Pace out there to help with that fullback spot.
They're putting Brooks Burris, number 67, a redshirt freshman in.
And Sualua has returned into that fullback spot. So they'll pressure that Burris hole if they can. George will run away from it. George is stopped short of the goal. It'll be second and goal.
You know, I would feel confident following Nicky Sualua into the goal line anytime. Gosh, does he hit people. You know, he's not very tall at 5'11", but when you squash 265 pounds into a 5'11" frame, you're a human rocket when you hit somebody. Look at him. Out of Santa Ana, California, long ways from home, modern-day high school. Comes to Buckeye land. I think he came here because he likes to block from the fullback position.
The report on Pace is okay. Twisted ankle. He'll return. Second down and goal for the Bucks. The big man is hit in the backfield by number 7. Mananecki comes through and got a hand on him and prevented him from getting up ahead of steam. Nice play.
Oh, nice one. He's the heavy hitter inside, the 290-pound senior. Now, this guy came to the United States at 10 years old from Poland, and he knew why he came. He came to play defensive line against the Buckeyes in the fourth quarter. Wham!
That, folks, is a Warsaw whipping. Now Sualua is shaken up and down there.
The way he hits people, sooner or later he is going to take a little of the punishment. Here he is, the middle of your screen. Actually, he didn't get to hit anybody. Manecki took him out underneath.
But Orlando Pace is back, returns. Maybe he comes down. Which way would you go? Third down and goal. Let's see. Here they come. George Powers, touchdown, Buckeyes. Orlando in the nick of time over there on that left side helped out the blocking, and the Bucks slip into the lead.
Everybody thought they were going to run inside, so they stretched the corner a little bit and run outside for the 6-point play. They're going to pull Sumner, number 72, to come outside. Here he comes around. Pace buries his man, sets the pace at the point of attack. Sumner gets a block. Another good block there by Matt Calhoun. Touchdown.
They're breathing a little easier, those locker room attendants back in Cleveland, getting ready for the American League Championship Series. A lot of great Ohio State Buckeye fans in there. Players on the two teams watching this one. And the extra point is good. So the Buckeyes bidding to stay unbeaten and among the nation's elite. But it's been a struggle against Wisconsin.
Because the world can be a big, scary place. The Chevy Blazer with the exclusive driver control system. It's nice to know it's there.
Yeah, you've seen it all. Done it all. Pretty much got it all figured out. But have you got what it takes to be a mountain man? All it takes are the 2 cool beers of the Mountain Man. Smooth Busch beer, easy drinking Busch Light. So, be a mountain man. All you gotta do is head for the mountains.
He is the driving force behind TCI and the architect of a global digital network.
Going rapidly to one world.
A woman in Tulsa will shop in Milan. A father will play with his son an ocean away. Every movie ever made, every word ever written at our fingertips.
Now that's an exciting future.
Where do you find the visionaries leading us into the next millennium? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
This week on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, Jeff Hostetler and the Oakland Raiders travel to Mile High Stadium to battle John Elway and the Denver Broncos. Classic AFC West action begins Monday night, Eastern 8 Central, right here. Coach on ABC, what do you think?
I think the Raiders, they're playing awfully well under Mike White, and you know, he's got them going. He's got them really going. And Denver's had a hard time against the Raiders for a long time right now.
Raiders do look good, folks. Real good. Jackson now with the kickoff. Stecker fields it at the 10-yard line. Nothing doing. Bucks are all over him. He's down at the 25-yard line. And so Eddie George, the senior running back, 6'3", 230 pounds, back-to-backs. That's almost a certainty.
He will do it. He will do it. You know, for that size at 6'3", 230, he has the mobility of the 5'11", 195-pound running back, but he's 6'3", 230.
Folks, this game is not over. Bevel had handed off, tried to fake it, but McCullough was the ball carrier on first down.
Number 30, McAllister on the tackle.
There's Bevel there. He hands it off back there deep. Now he's carrying out the fake, but the defensive, look at he's going back there. No one's going after him. Hey, here I am. I was faking.
Second down and 8. Springs on the boundary side up against Torian. And Bevel looking into the middle. McCullough, and he overled him on the ball. Belisari coming up defensively.
See, that's the third receiver in the pattern. He looks downfield. It's not there. Coverage doing a good job of taking away. And he hasn't really been effective at laying the ball off properly. He's missed guys when they're open. Also, you have to credit Luke Fickell that time because Luke Fickell got on his face. You know, Luke made a play in the final series against Penn State last week that was as good a defensive tackle play as I've seen all year. When he whipped the offensive guard, got in, stripped the quarterback, Penn State quarterback of the ball. I mean, it was a great defensive tackle play. Here's that change-up defense. All 3 people covered inside.
About half the fourth quarter still remaining. London slipping in motion. Bevel fired low. And Simmons did not make the grab. Got it off the carpet. It was incomplete. Short hop on it. Let's take a look at Vrabel, number 94, who has been coming all day defensively for the Bucks.
Trying to get some help to block, and that's Manny Castro, 68. Now you see Vanderbilt, 65. He's coming out and helping too. Now he's going to lay on, make sure he doesn't get up.
One grab him in the face mask, get him pulled down, jump on him, and then got no way to get to the quarterback.
The only way to stop him is tie his shoelaces together.
Let's go!
The Buckeyes have done everything but smash one back into the end zone up against this punting team. This time they set a return. And it's Stanley, number 3. Stanley to the 46-yard line, where the Bucks will put it in play. 7:29 to go, and a 4-point Ohio State lead. A reminder, Penn State, Iowa. The big one in the Midwest next week. The Hawkeyes, one of the surprising teams in the conference. Penn State came back late to beat Purdue after their back-to-back defeats. Kansas State plays Nebraska.
With the Badgers not being able to move the ball, they've been giving the ball back to the Buckeyes in real good field position. Look at this, starting on the 4. That's a 55-yard field to play.
Oh, it's George to the 49-yard line on first down.
Real nice job again by Jason Manecki, the defensive tackle. Boy, he did a good job. He whipped LaShawn Daniels and came right down into it.
I think I had a chance to do something unusual last night. I went and watched. Why is everybody up here laughing at me? Why, please? Listen, I went over to a Big Ten soccer match. I watched Wisconsin shut out Indiana 2-0, and the Badgers have one of the fine soccer programs. There are 6 of them in the Big Ten, and that was a big win over Indiana. So congratulations to that team. Second down now for the Buckeyes. Here's George, middle's there, and George veers off to the left. Eddie George may be putting this baby away.
Eddie George on the touchdown carry.
51 yards.
Juan Porter and LaShawn Daniels did a beautiful, beautiful job of executing a step-around block. Center blocks back, guard steps around, seals the hole, kick-out block. Nobody can make the play, and you can only stop this guy for a little while. See that move? That's what he did not do well last year. That's what he does super this year.
Up among the elite now with the Buckeyes. Jackson to add the extra point. George, 3 touchdowns on the day. Now 130 yards. A target most of the afternoon. That's why the man's a serious Heisman Trophy candidate.
Oh, you didn't get tomatoes?
Nah, I've been in kind of a rut lately, you know. I thought I'd mix it up a little bit. Whopper, no tomatoes.
Change your pace.
Exactly.
Expecting a weave and you bob.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking zig, use egg.
Yeah.
You're a bold man.
The Whopper. It always tastes great because it's always fixed your way, with fries and a drink for just $2.99 every day at Burger King.
So, you out of your rut?
Believe I am.
You're rutless.
Enough with the ruts.
You've been ejected from the Rutmobile. No ruts, no glory.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light.
Your legs take a beating all day long. They shouldn't have to take one on the ride home. That's why Chevy has the most front and rear legroom of any full-size extended cab.
Oh, like a rock.
Honey, where's the remote?
Just use the remote locator, dear.
With Magnavox, you just push a button, and the exclusive remote locator beeps, telling you where it is. At Magnavox, we make technology people want.
Oh. Thanks, hon.
Smart. Very smart.
College football on ABC, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Tagamet HB, the most prescribed medication of its kind, is now for heartburn. The document company Xerox, a simpler way to do good work. And Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. Camp Randall, Madison, Wisconsin. Quiet crowd right now. A stunning 51-yard touchdown by Eddie George, who was held to 33 yards in the first half. And like all the good ones, comes on as the game progresses when his team needs him the most. Stecker runs up at the 21-yard line and down at the 25 and out of bounds. Dick, it's certainly worth another look, isn't it?
You bet. When a good offensive line gives room to a great running back, he always looks better. The offensive center right here, Juan Porter will block back. Daniels will pull on around, seal it off. The block here, and you'll get the fullback, Sualua, right there. I think you can read what I was writing there. Block back, step around, fullback seal, great big hole, great running back, touchdown. Sounds easy, doesn't it?
George does the rest when he had maneuvering room like that. Now it is first down. 6:30. Bevel.
This is a very, very young Wisconsin football team. 2 seniors playing on offense, 2 seniors playing on defense. They don't have a running back in the junior class. They're all redshirt freshmen.
Jack Root, what are you up to this half, partner? You find more cows to milk?
Well, not more cows to milk, Brett, but I found the crew, and listen to this cheer. I don't hear anybody saying Brett Musburger or Dick Vermeil. Go figure.
He gave him his beer. We got the milk. The kids got the beer.
All right, Jack. So we've got 6 minutes to go. It's 27-16. Buckeyes with the lead. Bevel now pulls out and sends it low and incomplete. So it will be 2nd and 10.
Got to get that ball up high, especially when you're being crowded by a defender. You got to get it up so he can move back and pull the ball to the numbers. That one was just a little too low. Had a nice visit the other day for a long time with this young guy. And, you know, he was majoring in zoology, planning to go to med school. You know what he decided to do? I don't know how bright he is. He wants to be a coach instead. So he's going to take biology, teach biology in high school, and become a football coach. Fine, fine young man.
Well, they should be able to help out the physician who's tending to the team a little bit. I don't know something. 2nd down and 10. Torian over the middle, and he didn't pick him up. They were trying to set McCullough here outside, and a penalty flag. And how about that? Iowa winning today over Indiana has now tied the Wildcats. Northwestern playing Minnesota tonight, folks. That's going to be a tough one. Ohio State leading Wisconsin. Minnesota also 1-0. Michigan State 1-1-1, and then hard to believe that Penn State's down there 1-2. And remember, there are 5 teams are going to make their way to bowl games. So if you finish in the top 5 spots, and of course the best place to finish is the top spot, then you head out to the Granddaddy. You get to play in Pasadena. There we are, the Rose Bowl for the first place team. 2nd goes to Comp USA down to the Florida Citrus Bowl in Orlando. 3rd, the Outback Bowl. Now that's the old Hall of Fame Bowl. Builders Square, Alamo, San Antonio. 5th place team goes to the Sun Bowl in El Paso. So that Hall of Fame Bowl is played in Tampa. So that's a nice reward for the top 5 teams in the Big Ten. Something worthwhile. Here's McCullough. And right now, let's check in on Oklahoma, Texas. Roger Twybo, what do you got for us?
Brand, we got an unusual play. 4th down and 1 on the Oklahoma 11th in the 4th quarter. Freshman Ricky Williams gets the pitch. Watch this. He's hammered. He just throws the ball up in the air. Brent Casey came up with a fumble recovery. Why they didn't go for a field goal, I don't know. It's tied at 24 with just over 10 minutes to go. Brent.
Oh, Roger, that was incredible. That is throwing it up for grabs, isn't it, Coach?
You bet it. Must be a freshman.
Has to be. 3rd and 19 now. There was movement down there in the neutral zone.
Big Luke Fickle there, number 99. Real solid player. You know, these defensive linemen for Ohio State, there's only one senior.
Dead ball. Defensive contact. 5-yard penalty.
Oh, Luke doesn't like that.
You know, Dick, I know that I've got a little bit of a Big Ten bias. We spend a lot of time in this conference, and good friends, we're going to go down to see Florida State, and certainly I like Tom Osborne at Nebraska. But I got to tell you that if Ohio State comes through this game with this comeback, John Cooper and the Buckeyes deserve to be ranked number 1. Not that I think they're necessarily the best team in the country. I can't prove that. But I want to tell you right now, I don't think anybody has faced the kind of fire that this team has faced. I mean, Washington,
Notre Dame,
Penn State, and now they've been forced to come from behind. There's still plenty of time left here for Wisconsin. But if you want to look at the big picture,
and consider competition.
Well, I think, see, you know, I've said it all along. I think there's been a natural bias, and I understand it. If I was a writer, I'd be voting to go down to Phoenix, too, and watch one play, too. But I think right is right and fair is fair. And I don't think Penn State should have been lowered in the rankings last year when they didn't run it up on Indiana when I happened to be watching that football game. And I think the Buckeyes deserve some consideration. I really do. I just think it's fair. I'm not. And
you're not saying they're the best team in the country, but just how it's gone.
I can't prove that.
Yeah.
It's 4th and 6. Badgers are going for it now. Bevel gets it off to McCullough. McCullough can't get the first down. Buckeyes ball at the 45-yard line with 4 minutes, and now it's put away time for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They did not look good in the first half. There is no question this was not a good Buckeye performance. But like all the great teams, they somehow find a way. And I'll tell you, Finkus played about as good a game as I've seen this year today with pressure
best
like
game,
that.
I think. I think it's his best game. And Jerry Wunsch is a good tackle. He's a journeyman player there, and he's played well in the past. He's played well now. And Finkus has given him a bad time. He did it that time. He just is a relentless guy. He just keeps coming.
Talking about their schedule and what's ahead now. Purdue and Iowa, both those games are in Columbus. Then they go to Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, and then, of course, they wind up on November 25th at Ann Arbor and Michigan. Now, that'll be rough for these Buckeyes as George starts to bring it around the corner here to the 40-yard line. Now, ordinarily, you might look at that and you might say, oh, it's nothing, piece of cake. It will not be, because there's a lot of talent around the conference. Purdue showed that today, pushing Penn State right to the wall. Great running back over there. We'll find out about Darkins tonight. They'll probably, all right, at Minnesota, they've got a home game tonight against Northwestern. Illinois, they've got a good defense. Indiana. I think Ohio State will be favored the rest of the way. I'm not sure about up at Michigan, though, come to think about it. Dreisbach comes back at quarterback up there at Ann Arbor. Possible the Wolverines will be favored in that game. We'll see. Anyway, worth thinking about. I suppose worth arguing about, but if you're like me, you'd sure like to see about a 16-team playoff in December, I'll tell you that. Jack Root, how about the Heisman hype?
Well, Brent, you're talking about making Ohio State #1. How'd you like to be in John Cooper's position? At the start of the season, they decided to push for Eddie George for the Heisman Trophy. But look at the display that we've seen from Bobby Hoying, the quarterback, and Terry Glenn, the wide receiver. Now they've got 3 Heisman candidates. But according to the sports information director, he says, we're not going to push for Glenn or Hoying. We've made a commitment for Eddie George, and we're going to live with it and die with it.
Well, why don't they treat it like the Stanley Cup?
Yeah,
just give it to Ohio State and let each of them take it to their favorite place. Yeah, you know.
Right.
I mean, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that. 3rd down now. And boy, he's a good-looking football player. Working on the clock. He came in here. He was a target today. He stood tall, exploded for the game's put-away touchdown. That 51-yarder for Eddie George. They're moving the flags again. They're putting the Badgers away. But I think Wisconsin still has a chance to get one of those 5 bowl spots out of the Big Ten.
Oh, I really do. I really do. And watching them play on other game tapes in preparation to do this, Brent, they played so poorly in the first half. I didn't recognize them. It looked like a different team out there.
2:05 left here in Madison. Another thing that watch a snap here, long count, bringing the clock down, managing it. Faking the end around. Pearson now cutting upfield this time, and he is to the 32-yard line. Well, Dick, I know that you agree with me that regardless of what happens to Northwestern up at Minnesota tonight, and they will could lose that game, that's been a wonderful go for the Wildcats. You're one of the first guys who said to me that you thought Barnett would go in there and win some football games. I got to tell you.
Well, you know, we were there, spent some time, and watched him coach and watched their team play and presented them on television, and you could see those kids were playing better than they had the ability to play, and that's a reflection on the coach and the coaching staff. There's another guy that's done a real good job. He's never given quite enough credit for the success at Ohio State, but he's won more games in the Big Ten in the last 3 years than anybody else, and that's John Cooper.
8th year, and since '92, as long as you mentioned it, under John Cooper, the Buckeyes are 32, 8-2.
That's not too shabby.
They have rallied 3 straight weeks against Notre Dame, Penn State, and Wisconsin. The last 2 on the road. They beat Washington at home, and then they sandwiched a road trip into Pittsburgh. And prior to that, of course, at the start of the year in the Meadowlands, they buried Boston College. He's signed a new long-term contract. Great football fans there at Ohio State. The one thing he's never done, of course, take the Buckeyes to the Rose Bowl. This may or may not be the year. There's still a lot of games yet to be played. But right now, this Buckeye team is clearly the favorite to go to Pasadena. And for a lot of us, they should be moved up to #1 with the last month they've had. Eddie George, no question about it, our genuine Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. Eddie from Ohio State and Brian Jurwitz from Wisconsin. And celebrating its 25th year of sponsorship, Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. So we will be wrapping this one up from Madison, Wisconsin. Jack Arute is closing in on the coach. We'll be right back.
There's no stealing your thunder. Can't be contained. Fill me with wonder. Cool me off like rain. You're the part of me, that's the heart of me. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me. Oh, yeah.
No one gives you more ways to add the impact of color to black and white documents. Xerox Color. A simpler way to do good work.
Chevy S-Series. It's one ride you don't want to miss.
Well, there's our final score, 27-16. I want to remind you to stay tuned for that Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. We're going to have scores and highlights from across the country. Remember, Oklahoma, Texas is still very much up in the air. For Dick Vermeil and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger saying so long from Wisconsin. The Buckeyes are still unbeaten.
Want to help a child in need? Call your local volunteer center or place of worship and ask how you can help. Children first.
Tuesday, Joan London takes you on an exclusive journey to places never seen before. Race against time with a secret bomb squad. Then, get a VIP pass to a private Michael Bolton concert. Plus, some Las Vegas action as you sit with a high roller.
Swag, swag.
And see high-tech security secrets on an all-new Behind Closed Doors with Joan London Tuesday on ABC.
Monday on 6 on Your Sideline.
It's another great hour of football. How you doing, everybody? I'm Anthony Rothman, and this week we're live from the Rush Creek Sports Bar and Grill with a look at the Buckeyes and Wisconsin. How did Eddie George do against the Badgers, and is he still in the hunt for the Heisman? And what about the defense? We want to hear from you. Cast your vote for the Defensive Player of the Week. It's football at its finest, and it's only right here.
6 on Your Sideline.
Tradition. For us, it started in 1934 when Big Bear opened the first supermarket in Ohio on Lane Avenue just across from the Ohio State University. With you, we've seen national championships and Olympic gold. We've supported Buckeye athletics from the scoreboard to women's basketball. Big Bear, proud to be a Columbus tradition.
In South Dallas, a lot of folks like to work on their cars, and a lot of them come to AutoZone. They save money on top quality parts, and they find helpful people, like Rocky Brown. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but Rocky's the kind of guy folks go out of their way to see. He's good at solving problems, and he really knows his parts. You see, when it comes to giving the right part, the right price, and good advice, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Listen to 6 on Your Side Buckeye Sports on 87.7 FM.
The Thrifty Car Rental Post-Game Report, brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
And hi, everybody. I'm Roger Twibell. Welcome back to our ABC studios here in New York. 27-16 the final. Ohio State over Wisconsin. The Buckeyes now move it to 6-0 in the overall, 2-0 in the Big Ten, and a very big win on the road today at Camp Randall against the Badgers of Wisconsin. In our time remaining, some bonus coverage for you. Great game going on between Texas and Oklahoma. Right now, let's send you out to Keith Jackson. Keith?
With 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the 90th game between Oklahoma and Texas. The Sooners on 4th down and 9 will punt in a 24-24 tie. Mike Adams and Chris Carter are deep for Texas. Ryan Lewis to punt for the Sooners in the wind. Good kick. High hanger and a fair catch at the 18-yard line for the Texas Longhorns. So they are 82 yards away from the goal line that they seek to cross. They have 3 minutes and 27 seconds of time remaining on the clock.
And if you're wearing the burnt orange of Texas, not many things have happened good for you since the first quarter when you went up 21-0 and they were up 24-7. But since then, Oklahoma has just come roaring back to tie it at 24. And as we mentioned, all the points, 45 of the 48 points have been scored going in the direction that Texas is going now. There's a little breeze.
Officially call it the 19-yard line, and James Brown will throw on 1st down. It's incomplete. It's thrown away. It was intended for the Fitzgerald, the tight end, and he was not available.
Well, that was the play that worked well earlier, Keith. The tight end sneaking down the sideline, quarterback rolling away from him. He just went back and threw it, and that time it was covered and was not open.
The score at halftime was 24-10. Texas, when leading at half, coming into this game, had won 29 in a row, 18 of those under John Mackovic, whom you just saw there. Against Oklahoma, Texas is 32 wins, no losses, and 2 ties in games they have led at halftime. That's a little bit of history. It is 2nd down and 10. And things are not going well for the Longhorns as Cedric Jones comes storming in and decks the quarterback.
Great game going on between Texas and Oklahoma, and we'll have some more bonus coverage for you of that contest between the Longhorns and the Sooners in just a moment.
Car rental was born at the airport, not long after man's first flight arrived. But soon man discovered reasons to rent that had nothing to do with flying. That's when Thrifty Car Rental got rolling right in the neighborhood. Such convenience has made Thrifty's historically low rates a way of life, whether or not you happen to be flying. Your neighborhood Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Shake it, no dandruff. You've got Selsun Power. Brush it, no flakes. You've got Selsun Power with Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it #1 over all leading brands. Dandruff problem? No way. You've got Selsun Power.
The doctor said, what? Listen, if you're a woman and you get heartburn, should you take my Lanta liquid, which has aluminum and magnesium? Or should you take Tums Ultra with calcium? Something your body needs anyway. If you're not sure, ask your doctor. See what she says.
For more than 125 years, we have shared the excitement of those young men as they took the field on Saturday afternoons. College Football USA, committed to improving, preserving, and promoting the great game. For those who play the game, for those who coach the game, for those who support the game. Brought to you by the American Football Coaches Association, the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics, and their proud partners.
And welcome back. Let's get you caught up on some scores right now. Florida State, no problem at all with Wake Forest today. 72-13 the final. Danny Cannell, 5 touchdown passes, and Florida State 28-0 in ACC play. Missouri shut out for the second week in a row. Nebraska, 19-game winning streak, 57-0 the final. The Cornhuskers now 6-0 on the season. Florida holds on. They beat Auburn 49-38. Doran with 3 touchdown receptions in that game. Florida's first 6-0 start since back in 1969. And it's a final now. USC has beaten Washington 26-14. The Trojans now 6-0 on the season, and we'll be back with more scores in just a moment.
Long ago, man began renting cars only at airports, where thrifty car rental was first discovered. But in the future, man would need wheels for reasons that had nothing to do with flying. Thus the dawn of neighborhood thrifty locations far and wide, assuring a practical, easy, and affordable way to rent a car, wherever you are and wherever you're going. Your neighborhood thrifty car rental, historically known for low rates.
Snow will be increasing throughout the metro area. Heavy thunderstorms with possible strong winds and hail will be moving to the east.
When you want to do it yourself, but you don't want to be under the weather, let Jiffy Lube change your oil with Pennzoil. Jiffy Lube, the world's most experienced oil changers. That's why if it doesn't say Jiffy Lube, it just isn't Jiffy Lube.
Oh, in the Big 8 Conference, Kansas State ranked 8th in the country with a victory today over Oklahoma State, but it was a hard-fought win, 23-17 the final. Matt Miller, a couple of touchdown passes. He had 1 touchdown run. Kansas State had pitched shutouts in their 3 previous games. They move it to 6-0, 2-0 in the conference. And the Jayhawks of Kansas, they go to 6-0 also on the season, 34-7 the final. LT Levine, a touchdown run and a reception. KU 6-0 for the first time since '68. Meanwhile, the highlights of Texas and Oklahoma. 2nd and goal, OU at the 8, Texas quarterback James Brown. As Oklahoma now with Gerald Moore, 22 yards on the touchdown run. And that tied it at 24, Oklahoma and Texas. Oklahoma ranked 13th in the nation, Texas 18th. Just moments remaining in that game, and we'll keep you updated. 24-24 late in the contest. Meanwhile, Oregon and California, Cal has jumped out to a 3-0 lead over the Ducks. Washington and Stanford in a very important game in the Pac-10 in the 3rd quarter now. Stewart, a 2-yard touchdown run. 14-6, Washington leads it. Stanford against UCLA next week. And then Notre Dame and Army. What a thriller this was. 28-27, the final in that game at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, as Army went for the 2-point conversion with just about 34 seconds left in that game. They didn't make it. 28-27 the final, and the Cadets of Army been very close all year, but they fall short of Notre Dame today. And we'll be back with more on our Thrifty Car Rental post-game report right after this.
I don't see them. I think we're safe.
Of course we're safe. We're in my Subaru Outback.
I know the world's first sport utility wagon.
This beauty's got dual airbags, full-time all-wheel drive, and it's more stable in the turn than a Blazer.
What else you got?
Better braking than an Explorer. That's my Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon.
From the people who invented insulation comes a new invention.
Owens Corning's Miraflex insulation is totally unprecedented. Not only is it ultra-compacted for a user-friendly handling quotient, but Miraflex, a bi-component fiber with a random twist, provides a virtually itch-free surface environment, which means it's as soft as a baby's bottom.
For a free sample of Miraflex fiber, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
The Thrifty Car Rental Post-Game Report, brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates.
Virginia ranked 19th in the country, meeting Duke today, and Virginia comes back. The final score 44-30 for Virginia. Win number 150 for head coach George Welsh. Purdue and Penn State, this turned into quite a battle. Purdue running back Corey Rogers with a 4-yard touchdown run, and Purdue up 23-16. But then Penn State would come back. Wally Richardson, 17 yards to Mike Archie. And Penn State will pull it out 26-23, the final, their first Big Ten win this season, as Penn State moves it to 4-2. Texas A&M and SMU, 2017, the final here. Leland McElroy did not play, sprained ankle. He's probable for next week, pulling the touchdown pass with 8 seconds left to win it, as Texas A&M, after losing 2 games in a row, come back for the victory. And then Iowa, maybe the surprise team, even with Kansas and Kansas State and Northwestern this year. 22-13, the final over Indiana. Iowa is now undefeated in Big Ten play. And once again, 22-13, the final there. I'm Roger Twyvell. Thanks for being with us. We've had a great Saturday of college football here on ABC.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Billy wants to work on airplanes someday, maybe one that you fly in. Now, would you like to call for this free booklet of simple ways to improve his education?
Meet us at Mind Warp.
Only if you can handle meeting creeps like these.
While riding in my car one day, my tank was nearing E. I knew I had to fill it up, so I pulled into BP. BP, BP, I pulled into BP. I thought BP Express was just some new convenience store. But boy, oh boy, was I surprised when I walked through that door. The scent of gourmet coffee, produce and fresh bread. I came in here just to fill my tank and fill myself instead. BP Express.
Here's another clever idea from Plymouth. To make the new Plymouth Grand Voyager even more versatile, they simply went back to the drawing board. And voila, a driver's side sliding door was born. Now it's twice as easy to get into, twice as easy to get out of, twice as easy to load, twice as easy to unload. Grand Voyager. It simply slides, folds, protects, unfolds, rolls, and drives better.
You're watching the new WSYX TV, 6 on your side.
Bringing you the most comprehensive coverage in Central Ohio. 6 on your side sports. Today, live from Madison, the Wisconsin Badgers host the Ohio State Buckeyes. It's Ohio State football coverage, and you've got a front row seat. So lace up your cleats. It's Buckeye football fever, live from 6 on your side.
And a good evening to you. Cindy Cooper, Clay Hall from Camp Randall Stadium. And the Buckeyes are still unbeaten, 6-0, 2-0 in the Big Ten after a 27-16 whipping of the Badgers. They own the fourth quarter today, and the dream season lives on. You said an ugly win, maybe the ugliest you've seen in a while.
Hey, Clay, it was ugly. Probably the first 3 quarters made more mistakes than we've made thus far this season, but we'll take it. A win's a win. A win is a win. Some teams win on talent, some win on luck, some win on heart. I thought the Buckeyes won on talent. The franchise stood up today in the fourth quarter. That's Eddie George. He came through, 2 touchdowns there as the Buckeyes win going away. Some of the guys off. Didn't look like a particularly inspirational performance today, but a win is a win. Some of the guys were off, and it seemed like offensively, their biggest plays were broken plays. Defensively, we were blitzing the quarterback. The quarterback was rolling out, breaking containment. While he was breaking containment, we were losing our coverage. So we made their number 4, their wide receiver, I think his name was Michael London, we made him look like a star today all over broken plays. Did you sense that this team would come in here a little flat, or do you now feel that there is some relief, a sigh of relief at 6-0? We're back home for the next 6 games are in the cozy confines of the Horseshoe. I don't think the Buckeyes came in flat. I just think they made some mistakes early on. The breaks weren't going our way, and sometimes you have games like that. But what's important is we came out with a win. Teams like Alabama last year, they won a lot of games close, and that's what counts at the end of the season is what your win column looks like.
Coach Cooper says just win, baby, that Al Davis credo, and they win today. 27-16 over Wisconsin, and Eddie George, who can stop him? Nobody, just too much junk in his trunk. Benny, back to you in Columbus.
All right, Clay, Cindy, we're going to check in with you guys just a little bit later. I know we want to see some of those first half highlights, another first half struggle, but the Bucks do pull it out in the second half. Probably the biggest play of the game. Let's talk about the key play. Gave the Bucks a little bit of momentum there in the second half. Third quarter, Bucks trailing 9-7. Ryan Miller jumps in front of the Darrell Bevel pass intended for Carl McCullough. Miller takes it all the way down to the Badgers' 6-yard line, and that gets a little life in these lethargic Buckeyes in the first half, especially the offense. Thought defensively they didn't look too bad. 3 plays later, that's going to be Bobby Hoying to Terry Glenn. That's going to give the Bucks the lead, their second lead of the ball game. They would go up 13-9. So the Buckeyes not doing bad. Now let's check out the Buckeye Football Fever phone poll. Now after the big win today and the key plays like that, the Buckeyes are 2-0 in the Big Ten. Now, will the Buckeyes be in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day? 821-9007. If you think they're the class of the Big Ten and will be heading to Pasadena, 821-9008. If you think the Bucks will be bowling elsewhere. Now, remember, one ring registers your call. Results coming up at the end of this show. Now, of course, we're just getting started on the OSU postgame report. We've got the full inside scoop ahead. We come back with the first and second quarter breakdown. Stay tuned to 6 on Your Side and the Buckeyes. We're also going to hear from Coach Cooper when we come back. You're watching Buckeye Football Fever.
Buckeye Football Fever is being brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side.
Your Nationwide agent is Glenn Evans in Sunbury, Mike Leach in Westerville, and Jim New in Grove City.
By Big Bear, your tailgating headquarters. By Rolling Rock Beer, from the mountain springs of Old Latrobe, same as it ever was. By your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By Revco, a friend for life. By HQ to the rescue. And by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Big Bear loves giving hugs. And now, with our community hug-a-thon, we're jumping through the screen to hug your favorite organization. So use your Hug Club card and help the community. Big Bear's Hug-a-thon.
Is being where you need us to be. Good health is caring for your body, mind, and spirit. Good health is everything.
Today, a lot of different stores have pharmacies. Superstores, discounters, supermarkets. But do they really know your pharmacy needs? At Revco, serving the healthcare needs of you and your family is our business. And we're here to help you with our advanced pharmacy technology, our network of over 2,100 stores, and our dedicated team of over 5,000 pharmacists.
Revco, a friend for life.
With that kind of commitment, why would you go anywhere else?
Here's another clever idea from Plymouth. In the new Plymouth Grand Voyager, a seat is not only a seat, it's a table and a cup holder. It can come with a drawer, and one seat can convert into 2 reclining child safety seats. Overall, the Plymouth Grand Voyager seats are the best minivan seats on wheels. In fact, they're the only minivan seats on wheels. Clever idea. Plymouth Grand Voyager. It simply slides, folds, protects, unfolds, rolls, and drives better.
And we are back at Camp Randall Stadium. OSU a winner, 27-16 today. 3 times in the last 11 years, the Buckeyes have brought in a top 5 team. And today is the first time they have won in Mad City over that 11-year period when they were a top 5 team. Let's, Cindy, take it away.
Let's hear what Coach Cooper had to say just minutes ago in the locker room about that.
Guys, obviously we're happy with the outcome of the ball game. Really proud of the football team. I think Wisconsin, first of all, is a good team. I think they played hard. I think we took their best shot here today, and great crowd, and you know, it's just made college football at its best, and it's great to come out there in the second half and play like we did on defense and shut down their running game and their passing game, and defense set up what I thought was the turning point of the ball game was when Ryan Miller made the interception and gave us great field position. We put that ball in the end zone, and when the game was on the line, we went to Big 27, and you know, he came through. I'm really proud of Eddie George in particular. 141 yards, I think, and 3 touchdowns today. And any kind of honors that might come Eddie's way, I promise you, are very, very deserving. I've never been around a finer young man than Eddie George. He's a leader. He's a hard worker, and he'll be out there tomorrow afternoon leading this football team. So I'm happy to come away with you know, with a good, solid victory. I think Wisconsin's a good football team. And Barry, of course, did a great job getting his football team ready to play. So it's good to get out of here with a win.
They pretty much stopped Eddie for 3.5 quarters, and all of a sudden.
Yeah, we were going east and west a lot on them in the first half. And they got a good defensive football team. I mean, that's the same team that went over there and held Penn State to 9 points, you know, 2 weeks ago. They had an open date. I think they were fresh and they had a good game plan and, you know, well coached. And they took away. There's no question they're going to be keying on Eddie. But the credit goes. We were running behind Big Orlando Pace, and Nicky Sualua was getting him a few pancakes. And, north-south style of football, I think, won the game for us.
John, was the Camp Randall jinx, well, I mean, acting up pretty well there in the first half? I mean,
well,
with everything that went on?
Well, I'll tell you what, everything, I mean, we made a lot of mistakes in the first half. I mean, Ricky fumbled the first pass he catches. He got it out there like a loaf of bread, and maybe he learned a valuable lesson from that. And fumbled the ball, got the crowd involved in the ball game, and then, of course, Nicky fumbles right before halftime, and then we take time out with 13 seconds left to go in the first half. That shows you we were not. I think the mark of a good football team, though, guys, and with all due respect to Wisconsin, I think you got to win when you don't play your best game, and we did not play our best game in the first half. Now, I think we played our best ball game in the fourth quarter when the game was on the line, and that's why I'm so proud of them. I think the captains did a heck of a job at halftime, and the seniors, and the leadership was good. We never panicked and came out there in the fourth quarter and did what we had to do.
John, you're through the fourth.
We are back at Camp Randall. John Cooper on the heels of another Buckeye win. 6-0, 2-0 in the Big Ten, and I know there's going to be some reason to think now with 4 of the remaining 6 ball games at home that maybe this was over the hump time. 6-0, maybe this was the one that will get us to Pasadena. Can we think that way?
I don't know if we can think that this game alone is going to get us to Pasadena. Possibly the next 4 home games are going to help us because we're not going to lose at the Shoe. I don't think we're going to let our fans down at the Shoe. We play away at Minnesota, and obviously we go to Michigan, so those are going to be big games. This game gets us over the hump, but every game until Michigan and after that is going to be a big game.
I'm loving this Columbus assignment, folks. 6-0, the Buckeyes win again at Camp Randall Stadium. The first time they have brought a top 5 team into Mad City and gone home a winner. Vinny, back to you.
All right, Clay City, thanks so much. Let's talk about that first half now. It was very lethargic. Barry Alvarez and the Badgers trying to stick it to John Cooper and the Buckeyes in Camp Randall, and an inauspicious start for the Bucks. Bobby Hoying hits Ricky Dudley, and Dudley, he's going to rumble, stumble, bumble. He's out past the 40-yard line. Was he carrying it like a loaf of bread? Yes, he was, and he's going to cough it up right there. Unfortunately, that gives the ball over to the Badgers. They recover at the Buckeye 49-yard line. That sets up Wisconsin with a 44-yard field goal by John Hall. Wisconsin 3-zip early in the ball game. Then Anthony Gwynn comes up big. He picks the Darrell Bevel pass out of the air at about the 19-yard line. He's going to return it 19 yards, and the Bucks, they're back in business. And don't call John Cooper conservative. 4th and 2 from the 23, and the Bucks go to the air. Hoying hits Buster Tillman, and that's a first down. But 2 plays later, Hoying shuns an open Nicky Sualua short. Goes for an outstretched Demetrius Stanley. It's deflected and picked up by Kevin Huntley, and the quarter ends in a 3-0 Wisconsin lead. Now we're moving to the second quarter. That's a nice play there by Mr. Mike Vrabel at the end, and now we see Bobby Hoying. He gets the boys going in the second half. The nice pass, nice run down here to the 1-yard line as the Buckeyes, they are threatening. And what do? You give it to Eddie George, and here he comes. That makes it a 7-3 ball game. Buckeyes on top at the G's heads. They see their boys come back. Wisconsin threatening at the Buckeye 20, 3rd and 6. Greg Belisari, the big sack, but the face mask penalty keeps the drive alive, and Bevel makes it happen. Drops back. Cecil Martin, I'm calling. Cecil answers the 4-yard touchdown pass and a 9-7 lead. The Badgers missed the point after attempt. And the Buckeyes do look to bounce right back. On 2nd and 23, Nicky Sualua on the draw play goes 21 yards, but he coughs it up. The Badger recovers at the Buckeye 38. The Buckeyes D bucks up at the half. The score is 9-7 to 21st-ranked Badgers lead the 4th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. And you check the key stats. How about the defense right here? The rushing yards, very good for the Buckeyes. They only give up 16. They're down at the half, but they control everywhere. And the turnovers big, 3 turnovers to 1 turnover for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So that's pretty big. Now we're going to be coming back. We've got Purdue Penn State highlights. We've got the second half, and we'll be going out to Clay Hall and Cindy Cooper. Once again, you're watching Buckeye Football Fever.
It's a TV and video spectacular this week at Sun, with special savings on everything you'll need to enjoy your favorite new fall shows. Tune in over 100 channels of TV entertainment with this satellite dish system. It's just 18 inches wide and delivers crystal clear digital pictures with CD quality sound, all for only $5.97. From stereo TVs and 60-inch big screens to 4-head VCRs and digital satellite systems, don't miss the savings this week during the TV and video spectacular, going on now at Sun.
Prices are coming down in Columbus. It's the grand opening of the amazing new HQ. With everything to improve your home inside and out. At the guaranteed lowest prices on over 40,000 items, like McCulloch chainsaws. So come to the grand opening of HQ, going on right now in 2 great locations at Wilson Road and Sawmill Road. The grand opening of HQ. It's HQ to the rescue.
For Northwest Airlines, the king of the blues, B.B. King.
BB? Okay, BB. Go to the announcer.
Plan ahead for the holidays and save up to 50% on select Northwest round-trip fares to select cities in the U.S. and Canada.
With a deal that good, how can I possibly sing the blues?
Sale ends October 17th.
We are back in Mad City, and the Buckeyes have turned it upside down, beating the Badgers 27-16 today to stay unbeaten, and the 4th-ranked club in the nation rolls on. A lot of mistakes, but they stood up when they had to, made the plays.
Hey, Eddie George came out and really brought this game to a head for us, at least as far as the score went. Let's hear what he had to say in the post-game in the locker room. Let's hear his comments.
The difference there in the second half, you just broke through and you busted the big. You had to be patient with it. You know, they were very aggressive up front. We just had to do it, you know. I mean, a great job with the guys up in the line of scrimmage. It's almost as though they said, hey, let's put this thing on Eddie's shoulder and go run with it. Yeah, I guess. I mean, you know, the opportunity was there and I just took advantage of it. I'll be better moving forward.
Eddie George, another big game. He came in with 4 100-straight-yard rushing games today, and he did it again. That's why he's the guy Ohio State is pushing for the Heisman Trophy. And again, conditioning, a key factor. The Buckeyes have said all season long, we're going to own that 4th quarter. We're in better shape. Dave Kennedy in the weight room. We're going to wear people down, and they did. They owned the 4th quarter, with the exception of the Josh Jackson missed field goal. They got the 2 touchdowns. They got what they had to do. They won, and just went. We take it and we go home.
Hey, Eddie George, I had to have gone over 100 yards today. I'm sure he did.
No question. I think his last ramble was 50-51. So the Buckeyes on a roll here. 6-0. Vinny, back to you.
All right, Clay City, 141 yards on the day for our man, Eddie George. And let's talk about the 3rd quarter. Still not very exciting for the Buckeyes. The action sees them jump on Wisconsin, but not doing real good early. Ryan Miller, of course.
The ball carriers.
John Cooper checking things out, and as we said, Ryan Miller, the big play, you saw it earlier, you see it again, steps in front of Carl McCullough and makes the pick, going 31 yards down to the Wisconsin 6-yard line. Here come the Buckeyes. 2 plays later, it's going to be Bobby Hoying. He's going to find Terry Glenn, his favorite all year. Glenn hauls in the touchdown. That's the 16th touchdown pass of the year for Bobby Hoying. 13-9 Buckeyes on top. Cooper going for 2, but you can't find Glenn twice in a row, Bobby Hoying. It's incomplete. The margin is 4. But the Buckeyes defense tiring a little bit in the third quarter, and Carl McCullough gets it in gear. He's going to run 18 yards down to the Buckeye 14-yard line. Nice tackle there. Jamin Moore. Now you're going to see him on the draw play. McCullough 14 yards, the touchdown. Wisconsin comes right back to take the lead 16-13 over the Buckeyes. OSU gives it back to Wisconsin, and they threaten. But look at that, Matt Finkus on 3rd and 20. Sacks Bevel back to the 11-yard loss. Wisconsin settles for a field goal, but they won't settle for a field goal. It's blocked. Buster Tillman gets him in gear going the other way. The 18-yard catch out to the OSU 27-yard line, and now Terry Glenn. This is a 32-yard reception down to the Wisconsin 22-yard line. It's still 16-13 Badgers, but here comes the Buckeyes. How would that drive there would end in a missed field goal by Josh Jackson. It's about a 38-yarder, and it's gonna be short. But did I say something about the fourth quarter? Clay Hall talked about it. The Buckeyes defense really comes on strong. Darrell Bevel, he can't find anything. Running around, finally gets the pass off, but a penalty will push the Wisconsin Badgers back, and then it's a big old dose of Eddie George. The big run right up the gut down to the 17-yard line. It's an 18-yard run, and how about a little more Eddie? Just pitch it and run behind Orlando. He's into the end zone. It is a 20-16 Buckeye lead. They're coming in the fourth quarter, and now one more dose of Eddie George. 51 yards to cap his 3-touchdown day. Nobody's going to catch Eddie. Buckeyes go on to win this one. The final, 27-16 over Wisconsin. They rush for 207 yards and only give up 113. Possibly the best defensive day for the Buckeyes. Mike Vrabel talking about the defense coming on strong. As I said, Mike Vrabel, let's talk to that defensive stalwart. The Buckeyes have a very good day, and Mike says, yes, on defense, we finally came on strong.
Absolutely, Mike Vrabel, all the guys. Increased pressure, I thought, on the quarterback today.
Hey, the defensive line did a great job of getting to Bevel. The only problem was Bevel, like I said earlier, would break containment, and they'd end up with a broken play, and we'd lose coverage and make their offense look a little bit better than probably it was today.
Really, because Bevel, he limps out there. You think this guy can't get around the corner, and they chased him and flushed him out, and he made some plays, as you said, hit some guys for big first-down yardage when he really is not a strong-arm quarterback.
I know, it was a little frustrating today because at times I felt like this team didn't even belong on the same field with us. I could tell that, we needed a few breaks and we would get going here, and it seemed like we were the better team. It didn't show that on the scoreboard.
Well, at least it did in the fourth quarter, and the Buckeyes win it going away, as mentioned, 27-16. More highlights now from Vin Kelly. Back in the house.
All right, thanks from you Mad City Bombers out there. Let's take a quick look around the Big Ten. Minnesota Northwestern just underway. But the big game today, the next up for the Buckeyes, the Purdue Boilermakers. Penn State visiting. Penn State trying to rebound from back-to-back Big Ten losses. Lions trailing 23-19 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Wally Richardson finds Bobby Ingram for 49 yards to the Boilers' 30-yard line. That'll set up the 16-yard pass from Wally Richardson. Dropping back is going to find his running back, Mike Archie. He's going to go into the end zone. Penn State pulls it out. 26-23, your final today. Penn State looking pretty good. Now, we're going to be right back. We've got the answer to that phone poll. Does Ohio State, are they bound for the Rose Bowl? We'll find out. 821-9007. If you say they are bound for the Rose Bowl, 821-9008. If not, you're watching Buckeye Football Fever.
Monday on 6 on Your Sideline.
It's another great hour of football. How you doing, everybody? I'm Anthony Rothman, and this week we're live from the Rush Creek Sports Bar and Grill with a look at the Buckeyes and Wisconsin. How did Eddie George do against the Badgers, and is he still in the hunt for the Heisman? And what about the defense? We want to hear from you. Cast your vote for the Defensive Player of the Week. It's football at its finest, and it's only right here.
6 on your sideline.
Here's another clever idea from Plymouth. To make the new Plymouth Grand Voyager even more versatile, they simply went back to the drawing board. And voila, a driver's side sliding door was born. Now it's twice as easy to get into, twice as easy to get out of, twice as easy to load, twice as easy to unload. Grand Voyager. It simply slides, folds, protects, unfolds, rolls, and drives better.
The folks in Latrobe, Pennsylvania never thought of themselves as real stylish. Yet take a look at their influence on fashion. Not to mention, they also make Rolling Rock beer. Since 1939, brewed from the mountain springs and world famous for it. So evidently, the good people of Latrobe have been on the cutting edge of style and taste for over 56 years now. Good. If only they'd known it.
Let's be honest, we all care about how we look and feel. And with our fast-paced lifestyles, it's great to have a friend close by to help us. At Revco, health and beauty is our business. Besides our world-class pharmacy services, we offer much more. A complete line of vitamins, cosmetics, and other personal care products. Everything to help you look and feel your best.
Revco, a friend for life.
With that kind of selection and convenience, why would you go anywhere else?
Contact one of these nationwide insurance agents in your area. Ron B. Miller, Todd Berry, or Jack Goldstein, Jr.
By Big Bear, your tailgating headquarters. By Rolling Rock Beer, from the mountain springs of Old Latrobe, same as it ever was. By your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By Revco, a friend for life. By HQ, HQ to the rescue. And by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Clay Hall and Cindy Cooper back at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin, where the Buckeyes have won it 27-16. We talked about that defense maybe bending but not breaking in the last few ball games, but I thought they stood up strong today, gave up 16 points, and that's not too bad on the road.
They sure did. Finkus, Vrabel, Matt Bonhouse, Luke Fickell, they all came through today.
Vrabel had a nice game. Let's hear from Mike, the sack dancer tonight. His post-game comments just moments ago.
It's unbelievable. We need to come in here with a win. Now we're going to get out of Dodge. Get out of Dodge. Tough win, though. I guess you guys are due to win ugly, huh? Yeah, we're due to win.
Get a win and get out of Dodge, said Mike Vrabel, and I know you'll be happy to leave here, Cindy. Isn't this your favorite Big Ten road trip?
Hey, I'll be honest with you fans in Ohio. The fans here in Wisconsin are not the nicest people you can come into contact with.
They're partisan and they're tough.
They are tough. I was just telling Clay before our show that years ago when they were bad, the biggest attraction here at the stadium was the band after the game. All of the fans would wait to see the band, but they've really come behind their team and supported them, especially since the Rose Bowl.
No question about it. They are a solid, a representative Big Ten club, and certainly had a chance to entertain some hopes of winning this conference. The Buckeyes perhaps now in the driver's seat, maybe along with Northwestern, as they win it here today. A huge win, back-to-back road wins of the Big Ten for OSU, and coming back against Notre Dame, against Penn State, and now against Wisconsin. Proof positive of a championship football team. For Cindy Cooper, I'm Clay Hall. That's it from Mad City, where the Buckeyes have won it. Just win, baby. That's all it takes. Just win, baby. Vinny, back to you.
Clay, Cindy, before you leave, now I think the Buckeyes, certainly the best defensive day of the year. Take out the third quarter, and this team probably plays better on defense than they have all year.
No question about it. I think they stood up strong today. I agree, because the Buckeye offense came in as the 6th most potent offense in the country. They labored a little bit for 3 quarters before they kicked in the gear, and the defense held strong and gave them a chance to win.
The defense came through today when our offense was sputtering a little bit. Now that hasn't been that way in the past, but it's got to be that way. One of our sides have got to come through when we have a day like this.
Kicker Mike Malfat did not make the trip. Is that correct?
No, Mike didn't make the trip today for disciplinary reasons.
So he will try to get his way back onto this football team. Josh Jackson kicked off in his absence. Again, the Buckeyes are winner, 27-16, 11-point win. We'll take it. Benny, back to you.
All right, thanks, guys. 16 yards rushing in the first half for the Wisconsin Badgers, so that defense really bucks up for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, are the Buckeyes bound for the Rose Bowl? Do you think so? Let's take a look. On the yes side, 61% say yes, they are bound for the Rose Bowl. On the no side, 39%. We've still got some doubters out there. Columbus, what's going on? Buckeyes looking good at 6-0. Now, join us tonight at 11 for a look back at today's Ohio State-Wisconsin game. Don't forget to join us on Sunday night as well after the 11 o'clock news for this Pepsi Sports Zone. And you know it doesn't stop there. To wrap up the weekend and look forward to next week, join us Monday night, 8 to 9 p.m. live from Rush Creek Sports Bar and Grill for 6 on Your Sideline, leading in to Monday Night Football. That's going to do it for Buckeye Football Fever. Again, the Buckeyes 27-16 winners over the Wisconsin Badgers, 2-0 in the Big Ten, and coming back here next week to face the Purdue Boilermakers. You've been watching Buckeye Football Fever. Up next, 6 on your side's 7:30 newscast because the game was late. So stick around. We've got all the day's latest news, and we'll be coming back with more sports. You've been watching Buckeye Football Fever.
6 on your side, Buckeye Football Fever has been brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side.
Contact one of these Nationwide insurance agents in your area. Ron B. Miller, Todd Berry, or Jack Goldstein, Jr.
By Big Bear, your tailgating headquarters. By Rolling Rock Beer, from the mountain springs of Old Latrobe, same as it ever was. By your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By Revco, a friend for life. By HQ, HQ to the rescue. And by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
We just bought a new car about 2 months ago. It's right back there. It's a 1995 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme SL. We made the purchase within a week.